Bag is
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
Hey, good morning. It's your boy Trey, and we on today ASAP in the morning. ASAP all plays, all sports, all plays network. Hey, we're on to this morning for ASAP Sports Network. ASAP in the morning. We got my boy Bishop, Freddie,
what's going on,
and Coach. How y'all doing, gentlemen?
Good, I'm good, man. I'm a little upset, perturbed, because Freddie done jumped on here early this Wednesday morning on Hump Day, acting the donk already, man. What's going on?
Hey,
I'm woke up on the wrong side of the bed. He woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning, y'all.
Hey, I'm doing good this morning. Coach Spotlight, he'll be with us today. I made him go down to the doctor's office to get drug tested. All that foolishness that he put on this show yesterday morning.
They say you running, Coach. I mean, Spotlight. They saying you running, bro. Just so you know. Not Dave, Freddie. I'm gonna say Freddie, not Dave.
Hey, shout out to the Spotlight Sports Network. Make sure you guys go follow them as well on all their social media platforms. You can see more Coach Dante in Spotlight and many more over there.
So we're going to go ahead and get into a couple of topics. We got, of course, the Henry Ruggs debacle in Las Vegas. We're going to talk about that how they did the college football. I'm sorry. We're going to talk about the college football. We're going to talk about the World Series from last night. Of course, the NBA, covered the NBA from yesterday. Got to talk about them Lakers. So we're going to go ahead and start it off. Freddie, is Las Vegas done with this Henry Ruggs situation?
I want to say something before we even go live.
Yes, sir.
You know, for one, prayers for the families that lost their loved ones. I'm surprised Spotlight made it. Spotlight, did you get that drug test I told you to?
Oh, listen, he's not going to miss this.
Are you fully vaccinated, my guy? What's going on?
No, my question is, you at the doctor's office right now? I told you need to get drug tested, or have had a drug test. You want the results?
They don't need the drug test me. I didn't come down here to get drug tested.
Oh boy, you just don't listen. You're hard-headed. A hard head made us all behind. But listen here. I want to start off my comments by saying prayers for the families that lost loved ones. Prayers for Ruggs' family as well. Prayers for him as well, to hopefully that he can get his life together or wherever it's about to take him. But you know what? I'm going to say this about the Raiders. It seems like to me this year the Raiders are the new Cowboys. When you're talking about trouble, when you're talking about things that's holding them back, you're talking about a black cat running through that franchise, because this is the second thing that happened in a season that's going to hold their season back. You're talking about first one with Gruden, with the emails, how that affected the team. Now you're talking about this. This isn't something, no light joke that you need to worry about. You know, this is not like a wide receiver that don't get playing time. This dude is a second-year wide receiver. This is a big deal, a big player that the Raiders are losing. And I just don't know how they come back from this. I mean, your image is blown up in proportion. It's a black cat running through that franchise. He absolutely got what he deserved. He should have been released. He should have been cut. Now, he's probably going to do time for this. I don't see how you get away from that.
Definitely.
This is just and just like Anthony Price said, the state law up to 20 years in jail.
2 to 20.
Yeah, I mean that's just crazy.
It's just the state of Nevada. If he does get convicted, it's a B-class felony. He will have up to 2 to 20 years. depending on how many years will be in between those 2 to 20 years. He will have his license suspended for 3 years, and he will get a $5,000 fine.
And the $5,000 fine ain't nothing to him.
That's just I know, but it's just the
No. I'm just talking about him. And then
Right.
and let's be honest. I'm not surprised. This is a bum franchise in the Raiders, and this
here
is
we
what
go.
they deserve. They're just like the Dallas Cowboys. Black cat running through that franchise. What can go wrong will go wrong, and I'm not surprised if we see anything else happen down there in Vegas. I mean, they're in Sin City. They're in Sin City.
It's facts. That's what they call
Where
it.
things are go down. The worst. I would not want my team to be in Vegas. I'm just telling you how it is. If I was the owner,
It is looking bad for Vegas right now already. Out the gate, first season. Second
exactly.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like, when it comes to moving to Las Vegas, I was not big on moving to Las Vegas. As a Raiders fan, I was not big on it. The reason why that the move was made, because the city of Oakland didn't want to give us a new stadium. Why you think the Golden State Warriors is not there no more? Why you think the Oakland A's is trying to leave? Now the Raiders is gone. Oakland doesn't want the city of Oakland in itself don't want to give nobody a new stadium, a new arena, a new nothing. So Mark Davis' hands was tied. Like, okay, we're going to move to Las Vegas because you don't want to do this here. But I was not big on them going to Las Vegas because I knew Las Vegas was going to be a distraction. Now, with the whole John Gruden situation, a lot of the Raider Nation was happy that Gruden was gone. Because even as the way that he went out, we wasn't expecting that. But at the same time, we wanted Gruden gone by the end of the year. Because Gruden was not holding up his half of the agreement of the 10 years that he was there. But, sooner or later, the emails came out. The Raider Nation did not feel what John Gruden was doing with that. They did not like it. They wanted him gone. They wanted him booted, and we got what we got. Went on a 2-game winning streak. It went into the bye week. And then on Tuesday, this happens. This hits more worse than John Gruden.
Agreed.
Because we played better without John Gruden. Now, Henry Ruggs, as a person,
I can disagree with that.
Fan. I mean, listen, I'm gonna tell you. Listen, if you ever go to my Raiders channel, Spotlight Raiders Talk, you will see the Raider Nation was excited for John Gruden to leave because he was holding his team back offensively. He was holding his team back to a point where he would talk about those players behind his back but smile in their face. That's exactly.
But I can say this. I can say Gruden was worse than this though.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
You know how I can tell you? It's because Ruggs was the wide receiver for him. Yes, he produced on the field for him. But when you talking about Gruden, you working as a coach, you working in their front office.
He oversees all of it, yeah.
Oversees everything. And then my thing is, if your mindset is that, what is everybody else in that office mindset? So
but you gotta think of it from a perspective like, okay, he brought that staff in. I completely agree with that. But this team is more comfortable with that staff than it is with John Gruden as a person and as a coach. If you look at the last 2 weeks, without John Gruden, we averaged more total yards with the Raiders than Gruden did in those first couple of weeks. It's a fact. The play calling was bad for Gruden. It was so bad. He had so much of a power trip and try to be the big honcho. He failed this team. He failed this team. He didn't have this team prepared. And it goes back, and not just go back to this year, it goes back to last year when you fire Paul Guttler at week 15, when we were asking for his head to be fired since week 5. But you wait till week 16, week 17 to fire him. It's just certain moves that John Gruden made as a coach and as a part of the owner, part of the GM stuff was just not good. And not just with him being a coach, he just made bad decisions as a person too.
That's why he looked worse. So Ruggs, he just a player. You just cut him and say, hey, we don't believe what he did. And
I think it's just worse because the kid is 22 years old. It's only his second year in the league, and he made a bad decision that his life just went through a 360 in 24 hours.
A wasted draft pick now.
But this
is.
But this is the thing, though. This is the thing, Spotlight. So I agree with Freddie, even though it hurts my heart to say that. Either way, like he said, condolences to the family who lost their loved one. And the young lady who who died in that crash. She was only 23.
Mhm.
Ruggs
Sad.
had a young female in the car with him as well. She didn't. She was hospitalized as well.
There was a
It's
dog
just-
in the car that was
a dog was in the car as well. Yeah, with the young
Yeah,
lady.
dog
The
was-
dog
yeah.
died as well.
Man, that just makes me so mad, bro. Like,
Yeah.
it's not that you did what he did. He did what he did. You took lives. Like,
But this is the thing. But this is the thing, though. I think this is what bothers a lot of people, and is what concerns a lot of people, especially me for myself, is because when Henry Ruggs was in Alabama, every time he scored and got in the end zone, he would raise up the 3. Well, that 3 was for a friend of his that he was in high school with that he lost in a drunk driving accident himself.
That's what makes me upset about it too.
That right there
Answer
is
his-
like,
He should've
how
known-
could
he
you
should-
how could
right.
you possibly get behind the wheel knowing that you have been drinking and make a mistake like that? Don't get me wrong, we're all human, we make mistakes, things happen, but for
Right,
something like that to happen, so that should hit home for you. That should be near and dear to you. That should be the last thing you should ever want to do as a person who's lost someone that was close to you.
Exactly.
So
that's how I
that's-
feel
that's-
too.
that's-
I
that's
feel
what
the
it
same
is.
way.
Especially when he pays tribute every big
Time,
play. Yeah.
bro.
Mhm.
Like, come on, man. That right there. I mean, it's sad. It's so sad, man, that this man have pretty much probably lost his whole NFL career. But it goes back to this too, that we was talking about Spotlight, Trey, and I think he was even on, Freddie, when we was talking about I think it was yesterday, we was talking about mental
Oh, the first show.
yeah, or mental
Mental
what
health.
was it? Mental health. We were talking about mental health, right? And I just wonder, like, okay, he's 23 years old, he's young, got it, but man, like, bro, you're not celebrating because your team ain't doing that well to be celebrating. It's a Tuesday, and you're drinking like this on the road behind the wheel. Like, do you think possibly it may have been something, because we know we all deal with mental issues a certain way, whether it's drinking, whether it's smoking, whether it's gambling, whatever, however. Do you think, and I'm asking everybody on this panel, do you think maybe one may have been, and I'm not using this as a cop-out for him and making any excuses for him. Please understand that what he did is wrong no matter what. But do you think it may have been a mental issue for him? Do you think that he was trying to cope with something, maybe possibly, that got him behind it?
I wouldn't know, because he was in the car with his girlfriend was in the car with him. So I'm just like, I don't know. On top of this, I just feel like he could have called an Uber. He could have called a Lyft.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He could have took a cab.
Yeah.
And then on top of this, like when you're a rookie coming into the NFL, the NFLPA has those rookie symposiums for stuff like this.
Correct.
And you have to
Yes.
sign off. You have to sign off on a paper that if you get into these situations, they'll have members of the NFLPA come out and get you for free if you can't drink and drive. So you already have this. You have these solutions to prevent yourself from getting in the car intoxicated.
and to
I just
piggyback
feel
off
like-
your,
I just-
oh my bad, I'm
I
sorry.
just feel like he's just young. He was young. He made a dumb bonehead decision. He didn't think things through before he got behind the wheel. But at the same time, if your girlfriend, I don't know if his girlfriend's drive or his girlfriend was intoxicated as well. But if his girlfriend was not intoxicated, if she could drive, she should have got behind the wheel. That's just me.
But you got to keep in mind, he's a young dude with a Corvette. I'm gonna let you go,
Right.
Freddie, but he's a young dude. It was a Corvette. Pretty sure it was brand spanking new. You know how young cats are. You know how we were when we were young. We ain't let nobody drive our car, even our girl. You know what I'm saying? It's brand new. You don't even want a feather to hit your car. So I'm sure he wasn't trying to let his girl drive. But go ahead, Freddie.
To piggyback off that question about the mental illness, I'm not, and I believe in mental illness. Don't take me wrong. I believe in it. It is a real deal. It's a real situation. But I'm not going to give him that excuse. I'm not going to be like the people out here that when things go on in the world, that's the first thing we want to bring up. I'm not going to do that. He's a kid. I agree, Damien, on that. I 100% agree with you on that. He's a kid. He's young, dumb, made a dumb mistake. And I bet you if he could redo it again, he'll make a better decision. But I just think, out there in Vegas, temptation creep in. And sometimes,
Freddie, don't listen to Damian no more. That is a depressed White Sox fan. Please.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
I know it's a stupid move. I agree. But he always got something bad to say about the Raiders. He need to talk about those Bears that have not won a championship since '85. Stop it.
Yeah.
so let me pose
When's the last time the Raiders won one?
let me pose this question to
We've been to the Super Bowl in 2002. Those guys, look, the Bears.
Did you win?
We didn't win.
Okay,
We didn't win. But
so
the
you
Bears
can't talk
didn't.
neither.
But the Bears. But the Bears.
But-
Had
let me pose this question to Coach. Right, it's the same
Yeah.
topic. So, Coach, what do you think? I know they're talking about the Raiders. What do you think? Do you think it was a bad business move? When do you take business over, let's say, common sense in the sense when you're looking at taking an NFL franchise to, as we say, Sin City? What's going on, Lana? Taking them to to Sin City. What you got? What's your take on that?
Man, like I say again, I agree with Coach Spotlight. I didn't believe the Oakland Raiders didn't want them in Oakland. And again, you know, I mean, my thoughts and prayers just goes out to the Henry Ruggs family and everybody that lost their loved one. Again, man, it was one stupid mistake. But hey, he's gonna learn from it. I'm definitely think he's gonna definitely do some time. And again, I believe he was on the verge of having a good season, better than we had last year. He had already 400 some yards, 2 touchdowns. That was better really what he had all season long. So he just made that mistake. I don't want to make excuses for him by saying he had a mental illness, because I got kids on my football team right now that has mental illness as well. So I don't kind of want to give him that excuse. I believe it's out there, but like I say, man, you paid tribute to a friend that came up with you, grew up with you, played basketball with you, and stuff like that. And it's just sad to see Henry Ruggs go down. But do I believe it'll hurt the Raiders in the long run? I don't know. I don't believe so. At this
Hell
point,
yeah, it will.
you still got
will.
great, good receivers. You still got Brian Edwards out there, Zay Jones that Derek Carr can throw to. You still got two running backs when Jacobs is healthy and Kenyon Drake is healthy. He's even producing since John Gruden been gone. I don't believe it'll hurt their offense that much. I don't believe they'll take a nosedive. I believe they got better since new coaching, since John Gruden got fired. But it's just sad to see Henry Ruggs pretty much not finishing his career in Las Vegas, and it's just sad to see.
Before Trayvon,
Let me say this.
Hold on, Bishop. Let's give a shout out to Elena to join the show. She stayed up all night just to make an appearance. So, shout out to her.
Yes, I did.
Good to see Elena,
I
man.
did.
Good to see
What's going
Elena.
on, Elena? What's going
What's
on?
up, Elena?
Hey, what's up, y'all? I appreciate y'all. Yeah, I definitely made the sacrifice because I do work third shift, so it's hard for me to get up in the morning. So I made sure I stayed up to be on the show. But thank you for having me.
That's what's
All
up,
right.
man. Hey, real quick, y'all. I want to say this real quick, Trey. I do not want y'all to think that I am trying to make any type of excuse for Henry Ruggs' bonehead decision.
Yes,
yes.
Go ahead, Elena. Make your case.
I'm not.
Yeah, I would say, and can I please, just because we, you know what I'm saying, if you've been in the chat for ASAP, I'm sure you probably saw it got a little colorful in there, to say the least. But I want to start by saying that I'm not excusing his behavior at all. I do think that he should have been punished. I think that what he did was wrong. I do want to send my condolences to the family that lost their family member, as well as the Henry Ruggs family, who also, you know, we don't know what his fate is going to be as far as like the punishment and things of that nature. So, you know, I just want to send my thoughts and prayers to both sides. But I will say this. The point that I was trying to make in the chat in particular is that when it comes to situations like these, and it doesn't matter if the player is a star or if he's a second or third string or whatever the case may be, it's just that when it comes to, and I really hate to go here, but I feel like it's necessary every time we have a situation like this, is because had he been Tom Brady, right? Just for an instance, right? Would the Las Vegas Raiders have made the same? Would have been the same swiftness to get rid of him and to just pretend just edge him out of or scrub him out of the team's history all the way completely? I just don't think that that would have happened as quick. Now, granted, like I said, what he did was wrong and he absolutely should be punished. But I just don't think that the swiftness of the punishment and he wasn't really given the benefit of the doubt. Like there was no like, waiting till he got to the court of law. It was just like, okay, well, this happened. We got to get rid of him. And I don't all the way necessarily think that that's fair every time. And like I said, it's not a race thing, but it is at the same time, because like I said, we've seen plenty of other cases, which I mentioned in the chat as well. And I won't go that deep because I know we don't have that kind of time. But we've seen other cases with other people that it hasn't been that way. Like the Swift, just iron fist, it just hasn't been that way.
So,
like I said, I want to reiterate that I don't believe that. One second, Freddie, just 1 second, please. I want to reiterate that I'm not saying that what he did was wrong or that what he did wasn't wrong. I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve to be punished. I want to make sure I make that crystal clear. But what I'm saying is the swiftness of the punishment is what bothers me. I just don't feel like if roles were reversed and he was another race, the punishment wouldn't be as swift. I think he would have got benefit of doubt. That's all that I'm saying.
Now I do have a person that lives in Las Vegas that knows that strip and knows the regulations of. They're really big on DUIs out there. I really think,
for sure.
I really think the state of Nevada makes it a big deal, and that's why all this stuff came out about the 2 to 20 years, the $5,000 fine and stuff like that. But that I was just talking to my guy Jake from the Sneak Sports Talk Show. He knows that section where that accident happened. It's already been 15 accidents there in the last couple of months. So it's just a lot of accidents that go on in that area. But the state of Nevada is so damn strict. I think if it was in a different state, it probably wouldn't have been as bad as what Henry Ruggs is getting. But since it's in the state of Nevada, they're cracking down on it. And I think as for the Las Vegas Raiders organization and how the NFL is very strict about stuff like this, their hands were tied. They had to release him. I didn't want him to be released too early, but at the same time, I was expecting it.
And like I said, I respect that. But go ahead, Bishop.
I want to reply because I got to get off in a few minutes to head to work. I want to reply to Elena. I understand where you coming from, but I don't think you can pull the race card in this one just for the fact that people lost lives in this situation. I believe if as Pride said, if this was Tom Edwards, Brady, whatever the second or third, whatever he be saying, if this was Tom Brady, it would have still been the same way. He would have still, got released. Jerseys would have been taken off the market because you had to. Because at this point, people didn't got killed. So I can't really put a race card on this one. I just can't. Just because of the situation and that this dude made a bonehead decision. And I mean, but are we surprised though? I mean, he played for the Raiders. Are we surprised? There's a black cat.
I think too. We have to consider the fact of this as well. And I was thinking about this as I was kind of trying to stay up this morning. I think we have to consider the fact that too that the Raiders are fresh off of John Gruden, so I think that probably plays a part in it as well, is because they didn't want to wait and make the same mistake. Make the same mistake as they did, because with the John Gruden thing, there was like the rumors of the emails came out, and it was still like some time, and then they released him. And
OJ should not be innocent. We all know OJ did it.
Oh yeah. Come on now. Yeah, we can't. Let's not do that. Like if you're trying to,
Damien.
Listen, if you're trying to make that comparison, please jump off of this, because we all know.
Everybody.
Come on, man. Like
that's cold blooded.
And like I said, like I said again, and I'm not even saying that Ruggs is innocent in this particular situation. And I hear what you're saying, Freddie, and like I said, respectfully, that makes sense. But just to me personally, I just feel like no matter who it is or what franchise it is, when it comes to situations like these, there's a certain swiftness that happens with our people opposed to people that don't look like us. And that's all that I'm saying in totality. Like, There's
Can I
been
help you,
too
Elena,
many.
too?
So what we got?
Go ahead,
real quick,
go ahead, Bishop.
Let me
Hold
say
on.
this real quick, Trey. Let me say this real quick because I understand where Elena's coming from. And again, when a certain example, and like Elena said, we ain't gonna go too far in depth because of time restraints and stuff like that. But what I will say is, remember what happened with what's his name that used to be with the Ravens, the running back,
Ray Rice.
Ray
Ray
Rice,
Ray
and,
Rice.
Ray
Ray
Rice.
Rice.
and Dante Stallworth.
Okay, remember
It's
what
not-
happened
yep,
with Ray Rice?
Stallworth as
And
well,
remember,
yep.
and remember the white, the white kid out of, I think he was out of Pittsburgh, that did the exact same Ray Rice thing, same thing that Ray Rice did to his
No,
black
out of
fiance.
Seattle.
Yeah, what was it? Seattle? Okay, Seattle. His African American,
I believe so. Yep.
the African American fiance. He did
Yep.
the exact same
Yep.
thing. Ray Rice was taken off the team immediately, where his old
Mhm.
boy stayed on the team until they finished the investigation.
Until they got caught.
So
Yep,
you-
until they got.
That's what
Yes,
she's
sir.
talking about.
Yes, sir.
That's
If I
That's
re-
what I'm
differences.
exactly.
If I
Exactly.
remember
Yes, sir.
correctly, though,
Thank you, thank you, Bishop.
Yeah.
So if I remember correctly, though, it was Ray Rice was taken off the team after it hit, after everything came
They got
out. It
exposed.
was, yeah.
But
once
everything
it got
came
exposed.
out pretty. Everything came out pretty quickly
quick
with Ray
'cause it
Rice.
was on
though.
film.
So
It was
what?
on
So
film, right.
Yeah.
of course, what you have to also keep in mind, right, is in the Raider culture. I think that was more so about the Raider culture, not about how they're going to be about now, but about how they are. Because if y'all know of the Raider Nation, Al Davis was very pro black, like back in the days when it was
Yeah.
when it
Yep.
wasn't cool. Earlier when we knew it wasn't cool to be black. Now we know sometimes subjectively is just it's subjective. So
yes, sir.
that was their culture. So I think that was more of him being staying committed to their excellence and doing what his father would have did. It's unfortunate or whatever case like that. So I do believe for the Raiders, if anyone in the NFL, that the Raiders are going to do that, are going to stand up for people that look like us at the end of the day.
Oh, Mike being a troll again.
I mean, again, when it's all said and done, man, it's a
Mike
sad
is
day.
silly.
It's a sad day. Or
Yeah.
it was a sad day yesterday, should I say, or a sad day today too, because I'm sure the family's still grieving, and I'm saying both
sure.
sides, like you said,
Right.
The Ruggs family as well as the family of the young lady who lost her life. It's just we've got. Again, my biggest thing I think that bothers me.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing for me again, Spotlight, and I can't stress this enough, is the fact that he did that and knowing he lost on his own best
I'm
friend.
just as upset as you.
That right there is-
As a
Mhm.
Raiders fan, I am just as upset because I seen this coming out of Alabama. I knew about his best friend, and for
Right.
you to do that, it was just bonehead as hell, man.
Definitely.
Sucks.
Definitely.
That does suck. Bro. That's right.
It does suck, and like I said, I honestly wish the best for him and his family, and as well as the person that lost their lives as well. But for him specifically, just because at this particular time he's still here with us, and he has to go through this and live with this for the rest of his life. So I just hope that he can get the mental help that he's gonna need, because he's gonna need it. Let's keep it all the way honest. He is going to need it.
Yeah, he's good because he's traumatic right now.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't think we've all, either one of us on this particular set, have been in a situation like this where we could say what the mental is like. But I can only imagine when you have that kind of guilt on your conscience, that's going to be a lot. Not even just for the professional side of it, but just for him, the person. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just going to be a lot for him to deal with and to process. And I just hope that he gets the proper help, and whatever happens, it's going to happen obviously in the court of law. But I just hope that his mentally, he can recover from this, because that's going to be the biggest part.
One last thing I want to say about it before we go on to the next topic. I just really hope that Max Crosby and Darren Waller still reach out to Henry Ruggs, because Waller had drug issues.
It's a whole issue.
Max
For
Crosby
sure.
had
Yep.
drug
Yep.
issues, and they're
Yep.
both sober. They
Yep.
both overcame this. I really hope
Yep.
that Max Crosby and Darren Waller reach out to Ruggs to get him in that right direction. How they went to get into that right direction. So hopefully
That's a
they
good
reach
point,
out to him.
Spotlight. That's a good point.
Very good point. Appreciate that, Spotlight. So moving on, next topic. As we know, the NFL trade deadline came and went, right? It wasn't too splashy, as we said. The biggest splash probably might have been the Von Miller trade to Los Angeles Rams. So I asked this question as we was getting on this morning. We came across, it was reported that Michael Thomas said he's going to be done for the rest of the year. We all know his affinity not to be in New Orleans. Do you think he was petty and did that on purpose?
Oh, that's a good question there, Trey. Because
that is a good question.
We do know
I
Michael
think
Thomas
he
did not
knew
want to
that
be
Drew Brees was out the door at the end of last season.
Mm-hmm.
I think
he knew before then.
Yeah, I think he knew, and he was just like, "Oh, you know what? I'm just going to sit out." That's exactly what I think it is. I mean, I don't know if it's petty or not, but it's just my thing is you pay to play a game. Doesn't matter if Drew Brees is not your quarterback anymore. You still have to play.
That's your job.
That's your job. How are you going to provide? Like, what did they say? Oh, they're just not going to. They're just going to stop paying you. Then what? What do you fall? What that's the problem with athletes. What do you have to fall back on in situations like this? So if I'm Michael Thomas right now, I'll be he's really thinking things through, because if you, mind you, we in week 9, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Week 9.
If they don't pay you from week 9 to the rest of the year, what is your backup plan? I just thought it was done. I just thought it was stupid of him to be out the rest of the season. Go out there and help your team. Your quarterback is done for the rest of the year. They're going to need your help.
Right.
It is what it is.
Facts.
I ain't worried about Michael Thomas no more. I'm done with him.
Yeah, he a prima donna, man. But I just feel like, yeah, that I feel like that's something he knew all along. I don't know why he waited all the way to week 8 to say something like that. In a way, I'm not surprised. I guess I'd say, because like Elena as well as Spotlight said, I feel like he knew that Brees was out the door, so he felt, oh well, Brees ain't here. I ain't really gonna have nobody to throw them. I'm sure he wasn't expecting Jameis to start off the way he started off, and I don't know. He may have wanted Tatum to be the Taysom to be the starter, or I don't know. We don't know. But him sitting out, that's crazy, man. Especially like Spotlight said, when your team is hurting right now, you just lost your quarterback. Taysom is about to be the starter maybe now, so you need to be there to support your team, and that looks bad if you are trying to get traded. If you are trying to leave New Orleans, that shows a bad look on you as a player not to be supportive of the team in which you're already on. So who's really going to go out and try and pick you up when they know the type of stuff you're doing out there over there in New Orleans? It's no point. Like me as a general manager or as a coach, I'm not finna go get Michael Thomas for what? Dude, you not playing now, and you have really no reason on why you not playing.
Listen here.
Bye.
Listen here, man.
Don't start it with Freddie.
Listen here, man.
Don't start, Freddie.
Advocation for Green Bay.
It was very petty. It was very petty because he knew he needed surgery. He knew it. He waited till right before training camp to do it. We all know that. But he, like Elena said, he knew Drew Brees wasn't going to be throwing the football. He didn't know. He knew his question. Hey, let's not act like there wasn't questions about Jameis Winston before the season started. There was even a thought that what's the name was going to be Taysom Hill was going to be the quarterback. He like, well, I might as well just sit out here, because I'm pretty sure he wasn't expecting this team to be competitive. I mean, let's be honest. Right. But you know what Michael Thomas is doing? He's saying, okay, y'all, let's take a seat back. I'm gonna wait this year out. I want to get out of the Saints. They go out because there was a report. But the Saints tried to get Odell Beckham Jr. yesterday. There was reports they're trying to get him back closer to Louisiana. So it looked like they already trying to find a replacement, Mr. Thomas. And he's like, okay, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to sit out. You can go ahead and release me, cut me, trade me, whatever. And I'm just going ahead and recruit me a real quarterback. And we know there's a question about, that bad man Aaron Rodgers won't out of Green Bay.
Here he go.
What NFL segment is not going to have him in it? Come on now.
Hey, could you imagine?
Look at here we go. Here it comes.
Aaron Jones and Michael Thomas. You think him and Devontae Adams is a bad.
I knew he was going there.
It's a great
you knew it.
But could you imagine Rodgers? You thought Drew Brees and him was a good duo. Imagine him and Rodgers
Freddie, just change your team, bro. Just say your team is the Green Bay Packers. Your team
New
is
York
No,
Giants.
No, they not. No, they not.
Yeah.
You a Green Bay
Yeah.
Packers. You not a Giants. You high so high up on the Packers. You might as well just say I'm no longer a Giants fan, bro. Just say it.
Listen,
Hey, Spotlight, look at that comment. Look at that comment right there. Look at that comment. That'll save your franchise right there. That will save your franchise right there.
Why they talking bad? Why y'all talking bad to your man, Spotlight? Why you talking bad to your man?
Mike over here
Rodgers,
instigating.
we don't
Mike
need.
instigating.
I'm gonna tell you, we don't need Rodgers because
You do need him.
hear me out. This is the reason why we don't need Rodgers because Carr, Devontae Adams played in college. They already have a chemistry. Why do we need Rodgers?
Because Devontae Adams don't believe
Why
in
do we
Carr.
need
He
Rodgers?
believes in Aaron Rodgers. That's what he believes in. That's what he believes in.
So they going as a tandem?
He would love to play with Carr again.
Hey,
He
So
already
they
came
going
out
as
and
a
said it.
tandem, Freddie?
He
They
already
going
came
as
out
a
and said
tandem.
it.
But what did he say? He said he would love to play the rest of his career with Mr. Rodgers.
Organization don't believe in Adams because they would have paid him his money. They would have
Facts.
paid him his money. They
That's
had
nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers. That's nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers.
Rodgers
Organization
might
don't
go
believe
to
him.
Denver. Rodgers might go to Denver and then Adams come to Las
Spotlight.
Vegas. I don't see Rodgers coming to Las Vegas. I don't.
Spotlight,
Spotlight.
listen, Spotlight, listen. Most of the times I agree with you about 8 times out of 10. I you know what I'm saying? I agree. I'll be right there with you. But see, this is what from what your comment just stated. This is why the Raiders are a basement of a franchise because why in the world would you say you don't need Rodgers compared to David Carr? Like, come on, man. Let's not do this.
David
Let's
Carr
just be real. Let's just be real. Derek Carr is
Over
Let's get ready to rumble.
Just as a good year as Rodgers. If you want to look at
So
the
you're
numbers,
ma-
he does have
so
a
you're
good year.
saying-
Like, we're not doing that.
You're saying to me that you would rather have David Carr over Aaron Rodgers?
I'd rather have Derek Carr. That's my quarterback. He's been here.
I wouldn't say that.
He's
I wouldn't say
been
that.
here. He's not here to cop
Hey.
out like Aaron Rodgers is in Green Bay.
I
He's
wouldn't
trying
say
to
that.
cop out in
Hold
Green
on.
Bay.
Nah,
Hold
bruh.
on, hold
I
on,
don't
Spotlight.
want
I was
him.
with
I
you.
don't
Hold
want
on,
him.
Spotlight. I
He's
was
too
with you.
old.
bruh.
I
He's
was
about to
with you until you
retire. Get
said
his
that,
ass.
Spotlight.
Get his bitch ass double
I was
check
with you
out of
until you
here.
said
Bye
that.
bye.
Nah,
But I was
bruh.
with you until you
Bye-bye.
said that. But I'm gonna say
This
this. I'm gonna
preach.
say
Get
this.
him,
Nah,
sis.
bruh.
I was with
Nah,
you until you
bruh.
said that, Spotlight. I'm not taking Carr over Rodgers now. But
Thank
I will
you.
say this.
Thank you,
My
Bishop.
thing is this
Thank you,
though.
Bishop.
Listen, I will
This
say
is
this
my
though.
thing. This
Listen,
is
hear
my
me out.
thing though.
Hear
This
me
is my
out.
thing
Hear me
though.
out.
I'm not going for a quarterback that's not going to be loyal to a team. Right now, Rodgers is not loyal to the Packers.
His team not loyal to him.
He's not loyal to the
His
Packers.
team not loyal to him.
He wants out. Even with an extension, he
His
wants
team
out.
not loyal to him. What the hell are you talking about?
They don't want to pay that
I
man.
just say that.
They don't
I
wanna
can
get
get
that
this
man
guy an
as a
extension,
receiver.
and he still wants out. Come on.
Hey, listen.
You're so
listen,
right
I
about
could-
this. You're so right about
It's
that.
the Raider pride cloud.
Listen.
It don't have
Yeah,
nothing to
it
do
is.
with Raider
It
pride.
does.
It don't have
It
nothing to
do.
do with
It
Raider
do.
pride. I'm
It
not
do.
going to go for a quarterback that's just going to come here for the money, not to win games.
Listen,
for the
listen.
money.
Hey, listen.
Sorry,
Listen.
I'm
I could have
not
went.
doing
I
that.
could have went to
Turn this
sleep.
damn mic over.
I'm
You're
not
not
doing
hearing a
that.
damn thing I'm saying.
I'm not doing that. My quarterback is fine for 4,000 passing yards the last 2 years, and he's on the merge to do that again this year. Have a better completion
Spotlight,
percentage
calm
than Aaron
down.
Rodgers.
Spotlight,
We're
hold
not
on,
going
Bishop.
to
Hold
do
on,
that.
hold on.
We're
Hold
not
on.
Okay,
going to
Coach.
do that.
Okay,
Numbers
Coach.
don't lie.
Hold
Okay,
on.
Coach, what you think about Michael
Numbers
Thomas?
don't lie.
I think about Michael Thomas again. I date back to last year. He was having altercations at practice. Way back last year, I didn't believe Michael Thomas wanted to be in New Orleans anyway. I think he was on the verge of being out. It was several trade rumors about the organization trying to trade Michael Thomas in several articles. I mean, I read. So it's been an absolute mess with Michael Thomas. He has not been the same since a couple of years ago. Then he also didn't look involved in the offense against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. His catch radius has dropped. I mean, they stopped getting. He was complaining about he didn't get the ball too much. He wasn't involved, but that was due to him being hurt. He wasn't 100%. And again, it's just a shit shell in New Orleans. But I just think he didn't come in thinking they were going to be competitive. He didn't know Jameis Winston was going to be starting quarterback at all. He thought Taysom Hill, and I was campaigning for Taysom Hill, to be honest, to be the starting quarterback. I thought he can do more things for that offense. They lost one game all year long with Taysom Hill in that lineup. By you being a runner and doing some quarterback reads with him, you have to account for him in the run game. That's what made their running game so tough. But Michael Thomas straight imploded, and I didn't believe he wanted to play for the Saints. I think he just gave up on the Saints. So in all season, something could shake up with Michael Thomas in the New Orleans Saints.
Hey Trayvon, I want to comment. I want to reply to Bishop, not Bishop. Spotlight. Spotlight. Listen here. Listen
Oh, here we go.
Listen. No. I'll let you talk. It's my time to talk. Now you sit down and you cut that Raiders bias down. Listen.
It don't have nothing to do with Raiders bias. It don't have nothing to do with it. I'm just not going after a quarterback that just want to cop out of Green Bay. I'm sorry.
Why wouldn't he? You talking about loyalty? That team don't show Aaron Rodgers no loyalty.
Gave that man what he wanted. I'm just saying it from a business aspect. They gave that man money to stay. They gave that man money to stay and still want to leave. Why would I want a quarterback that's
because that organization is not loyal to him?
It's just not me.
That organization is not loyal to him. What have they done for Aaron Rodgers while he's been down there?
They gave him a 3-year extension, didn't they?
It's not about the money. It's not about the money, Spotlight. It's not about the money. There's a report that there was reports that he went to the front office and told him and said, "Hey, I think you should look at this guy. Hey, I think you should look at this guy." What did they tell him? Get the hell out of my office and you go play football.
So why did you
quarterback?
If that's the case, Freddie, then why did you accept an extension from the Green Bay Packers if you were not happy?
When are you talking about?
They did it this year.
When? No.
They gave him the
He did not sign no extension. He did not sign no extension.
Training camp. Why do you think he missed all the OTAs at damn near?
I think you're confused. You're confused. He did not take no extension.
No, I swear.
No, he signed the deal. After this season, he can walk away.
Extension.
I think he restructured his contract.
Well, he can walk away at the end of the year and choose where he want to go. It's not no extension.
He did sign it. He did sign an extension, but
it's not no extension.
If he want to walk away or not,
he signed for more money, no matter if he walks away or not.
No, it's not more money. What are you talking about? You're confused.
You do not accept nothing if you're not happy with a team.
You're confused. It's not no extension. It's not no extension. At the end of he had 3 years on his contract left. They took 2 years off and gave him his guaranteed money. At the end of the season, he can walk away. So it's not no extension. It's not.
Can I ask a question really quick? So with that whole Aaron Rodgers thing, right? So I'm just asking because I'm not really sure how this works in the NFL. Like, is that considered a contract extension or just a contract renegotiation? Before you answer, like, is it the reason why I asked is because if you're able to construct it to a point where you're able to leave, is that technically considered an extension? Again, it's just a question. I'm not too sure how that works.
He restructured. It was a restructuring of the contract.
That's what I okay. That's
and
what
you talking about your franchise, Derek Carr. You talking about a quarterback who can't get it done in the playoffs, and you want to take him over Aaron Rodgers? Shut the hell up! You're not disrespectful over Devontae Adams.
I'm hearing you, Freddie. I'm hearing you. But if Aaron Rodgers decides that he wants to leave Green Bay, he's not going to go to Vegas. He's going to go back to his hometown. He's going to go back to California. He will be a 49er next year. If you want to be technically honest. Technically honest,
Vegas.
I can see that.
Vegas is supposed
to be a 49er. I bet that. I bet that.
But you know what? But I'm not disagreeing with you, but you can't sit up and say you'll take Derek Carr over Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers.
My quarterback.
So you'll take an unproven quarterback over a proven quarterback if you have the right situation around him. They can win your Super Bowl. See, that's why you're a bum franchise.
The same proven quarterback that has not got to the Super Bowl since I was a senior in high school.
That's why. Well, what if Derek Carr done? What if Derek Carr done? Not a damn thing in Vegas.
Moving on.
I has not been to the playoffs. I understand that. When in 2016, when we went 20-4, 12-4.
Give me a violin.
Hear me out.
Give me a damn violin.
He broke his leg in 2016. He had 4 different offensive coordinators ever since 2016. You can't.
Somebody play a violin for him.
Gotta keep it pushing. World Series ended last night. Finally,
I'm about to. You guys have the rest of your
Atlanta Braves. Finally, the Atlanta Braves was able to successfully conquer that mountain and become World Series champions. What y'all think about that? They did it in
26
with a
years.
Can I
7
go first? As I'm a
with
Phillies
a
fan. Can I go first?
7-point shellacking. Go ahead,
26
go ahead,
years.
Can I go
Spotlight.
first? Because I can't stand nothing that does this. I
Ah,
can't stand the Chiefs. I can't stand Florida State, and I cannot stand the Braves. I cannot.
I
Listen,
can't. Yeah.
I wanted the Astros. You ain't had to teach me, man. You go
Look
to work.
at you. Listen,
Go to work,
you
Freddie.
see
Go to work.
Freddie. See, he just be instigating.
He an instigator,
petty.
ain't he?
Petty.
Listen,
He just be
listen.
instigating.
Congratulations to the Braves. It's the first time y'all won a World Series since 1995. Damn,
Yep.
I was
26 years old. I mean,
Yeah.
26 years.
26 years ago. I'm 35. Damn it. Shit. That's enough. But congratulations to
I
them.
was
I wanted the
6 when that
Astros to
happened.
win. I wanted Dusty Baker to definitely get one, but it didn't happen. And as a Phillies fan, it's just being depressed. Period. It's just a depressed Phillies fan.
I'm happy for the Braves just because Atlanta sports is always seemed like it was cursed, like they just could never, like they always reach that plateau and it just never quite. They never go over that. They just kind of like, and they don't. It's not even that they just lose. They always lose like drastically, like some just crazy like they blown a lead or like it's just always something. So I'm happy for them to finally kind of get over that hump. And just for the city of Atlanta, because I mean, it's such a great city. They need something like that to kind of, boost that morale a little bit more, just kind of, and make that connection. But yeah, I mean, I was super happy for them, and I feel like this is a little bit of payback for Houston for cheating a couple years ago because we ain't forgot. And so I mean, but it was definitely cool to see Atlanta win. I'm not gonna lie, it was dope to see them win.
Don't do that, Elena. So what?
I'm sorry.
I was cool. I was cool with Elena until she said
I'm sorry.
that.
I'm sorry.
I was going with Houston, man. I was going for Houston. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I really didn't have a team in the fight because I'm a true Yankees fan. But
for sure.
But I mean, it's cool that Atlanta won. I wanted Houston to win so they could kind of like wash away, about what happened with Houston a few years ago. I did want to win because of that, to be honest with you. But Atlanta came in there and they not only did they win, but they beat the brakes off Houston last night. It was 9-0, man. In that
out in good fashion.
It was that bad
on their field. Their field, that's disrespectful.
Bishop, let me tell you something. Me and Dante did it. We did a World Series game. It was so bad that me and Dante fell asleep on the stream. That's how bad it was.
Good Lord.
How bad it was. Me and Dante damn near almost fell asleep on the stream. That's how bad it was.
I gotta get into it, man, because I'm a diehard Houston fan all around. So, I mean, again, everybody can bring up the 2017 scandal, but 3 times in 5 years, the Astros have been to the same spot. They're still in the league baseball team, so everybody can bring up the team scandal. We know if we would have lost this series, that's what's gonna happen. But gotta give credit to the Braves. I gotta give credit to the Braves.
Damien. Right, Damien.
They were the better team.
I like that comment. I was just laughing at that.
What Damien brought up this time.
Braves did something that the Falcons couldn't do.
Yes, that is a fact. That is a fact.
But it was questionable for a minute though until last night. It was questionable because they thought they was. A lot of people felt like the Braves might blow that 3-1 lead.
I just got to give credit to the Braves, man. They were the better team in this series. The Astros, the bats just didn't show up at no point of time this whole series. The best chance they had to win to extend the series to a 7. Game 4. You left 11 goddamn men on base. That is disgraceful.
That's crazy.
You can't win like that.
Every inning. Every inning. You at least had a couple of men on base. That is disgraceful. And the bats just didn't show up. So I got to get a credit to the Atlanta Braves. They clearly dominated us and kicked our ass. So I got to give them credit for that. I got to get credit to them. So.
Shout out to the Braves 2021 World Series MLB World Series champions. All right, just was early. We was talking about blasphemy. Let's talk about
hold up, Trey. We got some breaking news.
What's up? What up?
Tom Pelissero on Twitter just stated that sources Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers has been tested for COVID and is out Sunday against the Chiefs.
Oh wow. Well, all right, let's back it up. I could put a pinterest in this right quick. Let's back it up. So this is the backup for Green Bay, Love's opportunity to show that Jordan Love what he's got. do y'all think this opportunity is going to put him in the driver's seat where they're not going to have a problem with Aaron Rodgers leaving next year?
So this is my take on that real quick, right? So Jordan Love, he's going to get his start, but he's getting a start against Kansas City, who allows a whole lot of points.
Yep.
So with that said, this is a possibility for Jordan Love to really solidify himself and maybe make himself a person of interest for the Packers to even push Aaron Rodgers more out the door. It's a possibility, depending on how well he plays. Now, with that, and on Aaron Rodgers' side, now Aaron Rodgers with this breaking news, I don't know. That's bad for the Packers if they were trying to keep Aaron. If they were really trying to keep Aaron, that's not a good look for the Packers. But for Aaron, I'm sure he's gonna sit back with his heels kicked up and his hands behind him like this. I'm sure of that. And for Aaron, it's gonna look like, all right, I'm out this game. Let's see what this rookie can do. And I'm gonna sit back and watch and see if y'all really want to let me go or y'all gonna do what I asked y'all and be sitting and kick back. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. That's big.
It's
It's
time
big.
to go out there. This will be a big game for Jordan Love because you was basically drafted to be Aaron Rodgers' successor. That's what they drafted you for, and Aaron Rodgers did not like it. So you got to show why the organization. This is the point of time the organization can trust in you when Aaron Rodgers goes out, and of course, if he leaves in free agency, they'll feel good about you being the man controlling under that center. So this will be a big game on Jordan Love and a lot of pressure on him as well to perform, because if it backfires, then they might consider it. But if he shows up, they may let Aaron Rodgers walk. They may let him walk, and you'll have the reins for next year. So this is a big plus for Jordan Love.
I think that's an interesting. I'm not too sure, because the only thing I would say is that just like I think Bishop was the one that alluded to this, was that the Chiefs, like anybody can score on the Chiefs. And the problem is, I think with this particular situation and this game being his first testing of the waters game, is that we as well as the Packers organization could become the prisoners of the moment. And basically, you know what I'm saying, that being that the Chiefs can't stop anybody and that he's giving an opportunity there where he can score a lot of points. What happens when, they say, okay, well, we see what he did against the Chiefs, and then we see what he does against a great defense, and then he doesn't perform that well. And then Aaron Rodgers is looking like, well, you guys are, praising him being he's the second coming. Well, look what happened. And then he walks, and then he doesn't turn into the guy that they think he's going to be, or that they drafted him to be. So it's just like there's a lot of angles that you could look at it from that particular perspective. I'm honestly rooting for the kid because he's really in a can't win for losing situation, just for the simple fact that it is Aaron Rodgers. It's very similar to when Aaron Rodgers was replacing Brett Favre. And I hope that he doesn't listen to the outside noise and just kind of keeps his head down and just just grinds it out and has a great game just for the sake of having a great game. But that kid is just in a tough spot. He should call Mac Jones because they're both really in the same position. But being successful guys that are are so big. You know what I mean? But go ahead, Bishop.
No, I think my thing is too. Will they allow him? And when I say they, I'm talking about the Packers organization, include Aaron Rodgers. When Aaron Rodgers don't really have to allow him, will they allow him to make the rookie mistakes that rookies make when they come into the field?
Now we keep saying rookie, but he's been in the league for what, 2 or 3 years?
This is second year. So I'm saying he's still considered a rookie because he really ain't got serious playing time. That's what I call a rookie. But will they allow him to make those, them young kid mistakes or young man's mistakes coming into a game where he doesn't get a chance to play with the first team and doesn't get to read the defenses as much? I mean, you on the sideline, but it's different looking at the defense from the sideline and looking at them head on. You know what I'm saying? It's totally
that's absolutely. That's absolutely. I mean, even the way that you prepare too is different as well, because preparing to hold a clipboard and opposed to preparing to going out and lead the troop is two different, totally things. And like I said, this is a big opponent, so it's not like a starter team that's not that good and not making
Right.
the playoffs. This is a Super Bowl caliber team. If they can figure some things out, they're still, you know what I'm saying? They still have Patrick Mahomes on the other side of that football.
Right.
So it's like, you know, that's a lot to prepare for. So you're right, Bishop.
Now I can say this with it. I'm not saying it's easy for Jordan Love because it's the Kansas City Chiefs at the end of the day. Regardless of they can score at any time. We know they've been struggling offensively and defensively. Defensively, they are dead last in every defensive stat category.
Yep.
So Jordan Love, this is your opportunity against a bad defense in this Kansas City Chiefs to show out that you can be the successor of Aaron Rodgers. No ifs, ands, or buts. There's no excuses to this. And I think that even with Jordan Love, I still think they can still beat the Chiefs because I feel like the Chiefs don't have their identity anymore. I think they're really losing that every single week. They barely beat the Giants. No offense to Freddie. I know that's your squad, bro, but I'm just saying. They barely beat the Giants where we thought that the Chiefs were supposed to beat the bricks off of them on Monday night.
Yeah.
So now this gives Jordan Love a chance. Okay, the Chiefs is not that great. They're not like what they were last year. This is my opportunity to shine. And that's what he has to do. And he has to prepare Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You know, he had a couple days to get himself ready because this is left field. Again, we didn't know Aaron Rodgers was going to have COVID. Same thing on Thursday night. Last Thursday, we didn't know Devontae Adams was going to be out with COVID. So now it's like, okay, Devontae Adams come back this week. Jordan Love, you have your weapon. Let's see what you can do.
I think kind of another thing, I started to ask a question to all y'all on the panel. Do y'all feel like teams have started to figure out Kansas City, the way they play, the way they offensively constructed? I think that's what I'm getting a glimpse of because they're not really putting up the amount of points that they normally are put up. So I think teams' defenses kind of figured them out since Patrick Mahomes been in the league about a couple of years. You know, when he was a rookie, you really don't got no film on him. You really don't actually have a film on him on how he plays. But I think teams starting to adjust and how Kansas City really operate their offense.
And with that, what you just said, Coach, that's why Jordan Love also will have a great opportunity to strive this weekend because they don't have any game film on him. They don't know what to expect from him. All they got is from what he did in college. They have nothing else to look at.
No game film on him.
No game film. So when you don't have a game film on a quarterback, that's why the three backups that won this past weekend, they didn't have game films on them three quarterbacks. They all won. This past weekend, them backup quarterbacks.
So another report that came out from Ian Rappaport said Aaron Rodgers is unvaccinated per source. That's why he's out for this Sunday.
That's gonna be an issue.
Well, that's
gonna that right there. Watch what I tell you. That right there might put Aaron Rodgers right out of Green Bay. That right there. That
I think he was out of Green Bay anyway. But I mean that
might be the icing on the cake.
The icing on the cake.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Because you got to look at it. If we really think about it, you got Aaron Rodgers who's unvaccinated, and then we see what's going on with Kyrie in the NBA unvaccinated. You see.
Good point.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Man, I'm telling you, they might be like, all right, well, Aaron, you talking about all this and that and other, but you ain't vaccinated. We're not even finna let you come back into the locker room until you get vaccinated. Aaron gonna be like, all right, I'm out.
But but that. So what you're saying right now, but basically what you got to take in consideration is Kyrie's not playing because the state has a law that doesn't. Green Bay doesn't have that, so that'd be Aaron Rodgers on this decision.
That's a difference, right? I get that.
Yeah.
So moving along, like we talked about blasphemy earlier. What do y'all think about the blasphemous college football playoff selections that came out yesterday? Georgia number 1, Alabama number 2.
I knew that
Michigan State number 3, Oregon number 4. Coach, what you got?
Is this?
Oh man!
Oh my God!
This is pure disrespect to Oklahoma. This is pure disrespect to Oklahoma.
That was disrespectful,
How does Oregon jump comes from number 10 to be number 4? I don't understand that. They are one-loss team, just like Alabama. I think Michigan is kind of deserving of it because of their win against Michigan, but number 10 to number 4, and then you move
You move
Cincinnati to number
Cincinnati from
6.
2 to 6.
2
That
to
is just
6.
that's uncalled for.
Oh, somebody.
Man,
That
let
is
me
uncalled
say
for.
this. Let me
I
hold
know
on,
this is
hold
not.
on, hold on, man.
Look
Come
at
on,
Bishop.
man.
Hold on,
Look at Bishop.
I didn't jump
Come
off.
on, man.
I did not jump off because of the topic. I did not. I had a phone call. I had to answer it. That's why I jumped off. But
I hope that was the
I was
college
like,
football
dang,
playoff giving you
Bishop.
a
I
call.
was hoping.
like,
It said unknown. It said unknown, so I thought
So
it
it
was
could
the
be.
college football
I hope
playoff
it was
telling me
it was the
to
committee for college football
apologize
playoff giving you
for
an
the
explanation.
debacle.
To tell you
I
don't
thought
go
it
in.
was- I thought it was the college football
Right.
playoff calling for the debacle because this nonsense that they got going on in college
Hold on, hold on, hold on,
Ooh.
hold on, hold on,
doesn't make
Bishop.
any
And he
sense.
got
I gotta
OU
get
in the
on.
back
I
too.
didn't-
So
Hold
he
on.
was mad.
Let's not
Hey,
make
I
let's
do
not make this about
understand how you
Oklahoma.
take a number
Let's
2
not make
team
this about
I didn't
and
Oklahoma.
move them down the rankings. How you take a
Here you go,
number,
guy.
number 4 team undefeated and move them down the rankings? How do you put 3 teams who has losses and put them in the top 5? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Stop it.
Cincinnati beat
Man.
Cincinnati
2 to
beat
6.
Notre Dame. Cincinnati beat Notre Dame. They beat a respectable Indiana team.
Like,
They
come
were number 2. How they go to
on.
number 6? Why is
Come
Oklahoma not
on.
in the top 4? Oregon
stupid.
and Alabama
Ohio-
cannot be
This
in
is
the
the
top
worst.
4.
That's what
This
I'm
is the
saying.
worst.
They-
From what I was told from
This is the
another
worst.
colleague of the Spotlight Sports Network, they were saying, "Oh, because they doing this because of ratings." I'm like, "How are they doing this because of ratings? Because Oklahoma is in the ratings too. What are we talking
Exactly.
about here?
What are you
Oklahoma
saying?
should be in the top 4 because they're 9-0 and they bumped down to
9-0.
number 8. Y'all not y'all 9-0. Y'all bumped down to 9, almost close to being number 10 in the nation. How is that even possible? This is my thing with college football. They are jacking off the SEC.
They are. I agree.
Oh,
They are jacking
I
off the
agree.
SEC because
Yep.
it's like
That's
there's
a
going to
fact.
be an SEC national championship, and we see this
Mhm.
every single year. And
Yep.
I'm telling you, if this happens, if Georgia and I don't mind Georgia being national champion because it's well deserving up them on how they've
Yeah,
been
nothing
playing.
about
Yeah,
Georgia.
yeah.
If
Nothing about
Alabama's
Georgia.
in that national championship or in the college
It
playoff,
was
in the next couple
yeah,
of weeks,
yep.
I am boycotting college football. I am
That's crazy.
done.
Yep.
I mean,
I
That's
am
crazy,
done.
bro.
Because it's
Oklahoma-
not fair to Cincinnati that busted behind the last couple
Yep.
of years, the turning from a basketball school to a football school.
Oh, there you go.
Bump that from number 2
And
to
the-
number 6.
They haven't
Ohio State
Hey.
lost to Oregon. They both had 1 loss. Why is Ohio State number 5? I wouldn't mind putting Oklahoma at number 5 and trying to work their way in. I didn't mind that. But at the same time, you put Ohio State there. There are some scrubs over there in Ohio State. They're not that great. Stop
They're
it.
not.
I mean,
Stop
and
it.
Cincinnati also got a respectable schedule too. If
Say
you look
that.
at who they
Mhm.
play, they
Say
got a respectable
that.
schedule.
Say
Oklahoma, yes, they got quarterback issues. Yes, they don't play great, but they undefeated. They
Say
undefeated.
that.
And Oregon is not actually all that good. They just
They lost to Stanford.
they lost to Stanford. They blew the game against
listen.
Stanford.
Ivy League school.
And I
It's
did that
Ivy
Stanford
League.
game. So I
Man.
mean, they just gotta have a goddamn SEC team.
Oh, this
in.
this
They
is
gotta
bad.
have
This is
Ohio State a
This
part
is
of
as
stuff.
a 9,
It-
as a 10, as
Man,
a
come on,
11,
man.
as
That's
a
just
12.
that's just
That don't
robbery,
make
bro.
no
Oh
sense.
no,
Come on.
not the
Cincinnati,
Skip Bayless.
Oklahoma.
Not the Skip Bayless.
Cincinnati and Oklahoma should be in the top 4, man. That should be
There's
the
no
top
way,
4
bro.
team.
That,
No way.
it's,
No
it's
way.
crazy.
Come on, man.
Michigan State, I could
I can see them because they beat Michigan.
They
They
did.
beat me. They
Yeah,
come
I
back
can
to
see.
beat
But
Michigan. Yeah.
Alabama, how you put Alabama second? How? How do you put them
Cincinnati
second?
was just number 2.
You
Right,
know
how
why?
does
Because
how do you
know
jump?
why.
How does
Y'all know
Alabama
why.
jump Cincinnati? How is that happening?
Y'all absolutely know why. Listen,
So,
Y'all know-
if it's
Oh
one thing
my
about
God.
technically,
if it's one
Cincinnati
thing
is
about
still number
Alabama,
2.
yeah.
Technically,
they're number
Cincinnati
two.
is still
but
number 2.
In the college, yeah, they're number
But
2
where
in
it
the
counts
nation,
out,
but
yeah.
for the college football playoffs, they're number 6, which I don't understand that, bro.
Yes.
That doesn't make sense. How does the college
If it's
football
one, yeah.
playoffs have one thing and then the AP poll has something different? I get it. There's 2 different things, but come on, they should at least coincide some way. They should kind of match up a little bit.
Let me
little
Google
bit.
the college football player. Let me see if they got a contact number so I can give these guys a call.
They need
What's
somebody to
going
call,
on
bro.
here, man?
They need
That's
somebody to
robbery,
call.
bro.
I
That's
don't
just robbery.
understand that, bro.
That's
I do
robbery.
First of all,
man.
y'all should have known it was a BS off the strength of Oregon being in the top 5 because there's no reason that Oregon should be in anybody's top 5 because at the end of the day, Oregon is one of those teams that they've had so many opportunities in these particular situations as far as being a top 5 ranked school or being in the playoff or just being in the conversation at least. And when it comes time to really prove it and stack it up against the teams that really deserve to be where they were supposed to be, like we see the result. What, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those. And also too with Alabama, it's just like, as long as they have Nick Saban, they're going to be in the top 5 whether they deserve it or not. And
I
it's
totally
like
agree
it's
with
not,
with that one.
and it's not fair, it's not right, but it just is what it is, because at
Yeah.
the end of the day, Nick Saban is
This is
college
what makes
football
college
to a
football
lot of
fun. This is
people.
why a lot of fans stray away from college football, because of
Yeah.
stuff like this. College
It is.
football is such a great
Yeah, for
part
sure,
of
for sure.
football, and it
Yeah.
strays away the fans. And
College
people say,
sports,
"Oh, ratings," but people as long as Alabama national championship, they lose ratings every time Alabama's in the national championship, because nobody
people
wants to see that
seeing them.
anymore.
Yeah,
Everybody's tired of
Yes.
seeing them.
We started seeing that, and I'm
I
gonna tell
did
you this,
find
right?
a
Let me tell you, you found a number. You found a
I
number.
found the number.
Spotlight?
If you want that number, Bishop, I'll send it to you. I will
All
send
right,
you
bro.
that
mean,
Do
number.
that. Do
And they
that.
go
Hey,
by
but
another reason what they go by the best 4 teams. Can you beat Alabama on a neutral site? Can you beat them head
Yep,
to head?
yep,
That's
yep,
why
yep,
that's why
yep.
they put Alabama in now every year, even with
Mhm.
one loss. They literally have to have 2 losses. So reason why Alabama and Ohio State beat up there every year. Can you beat these? Can Cincinnati? Can Oregon? Can Oklahoma beat these 2 teams head to head? It's not about the deserving. It's about, can you beat these guys
But at
head
the
to
same,
head?
but at the
still,
same
man, they
time,
they
but at the
undefeated
same
though,
time, you
man.
can
Come
see
on,
any
man.
other. If Oklahoma would have lost this year, right? They
Yeah.
would have had to go.
They
to
would
the
have
back
had them
of the
out. They would
line.
have been done. They would have been
They
done.
would have
They
to go
would've
to
been-
the
yeah,
back
they
of the
would have been
line,
done.
and
They
that's
would
how
have
I
been
feel
done.
they
Yeah.
need to treat
That would have been
Alabama.
them.
Say if Georgia lose this year, they're not going to go to the back of the line. That's
Yep.
why I say this is an SEC driven college football, because no matter if you can, we seen it at times where Alabama had 2 losses, they was in the top 4. We seen it before.
right.
So it doesn't.
Yep.
That's the thing. They're so favoritism towards the SEC, because everybody, if you lose 1 or 2 games, the rest of the college football guys have to go back to in their line, start at number 21, and work their way back up. You
Right.
never see Alabama no lower than 5. You never see it.
Yeah.
Right. So this
Yeah,
is
that's facts.
so Trey, this is me, right? So this is me. If it was me and I was on the panel for the college football playoffs, this is where I would rank the teams. I'd put Georgia at number 1. I'd put either Oklahoma or Cincinnati at number 2. Whoever's at number 2 would flip-flop to number 3. So I would say Georgia, Oklahoma, Cincinnati. And the only reason I'm putting Oklahoma second is because Oklahoma has a 9-0 record compared to Cincinnati's 8-0. And then number 4 would probably be Michigan State. That would be my 4 because they undefeated. Then I would go to Ohio State. Then I go Ohio State be 5th. I'll put, you know what? I would even put Wake Forest at number 6 because they're 8-0.
So
I
I
would put Wake Forest at 6 simply because of the fact they're still 8 and they're still undefeated. This is what I don't understand what this whole thing is. If a team is undefeated, I don't give a damn who they playing. They're still in college football. They're still, I call them semi-professional players because they are not in the actual NFL, but they're on their way. So they're semi-professional players. So any team that's going 8, 9, 10, and 0 needs to
at least some consideration.
If you're in the top 10, if you're in the top 10, top 15,
especially deserves respect, bro. I don't care who
yeah.
you are.
So riddle me this. Riddle me this.
Mhm.
The top 6 that you just stated.
Mhm.
The top 6 that is actually out there. Which one do you think is more of a ratings draw?
What do you mean a ratings draw? Like, what do you mean?
Who you think gonna come? Who's going to come watch Georgia versus Michigan State compared to Georgia versus Oregon?
But this is why you have to look back on the college football players. This is why it needs to be extended from 4 to 8.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
This is why, because you can see you can get get those teams chances to win or lose. But at the same time, if they lose, then we might still get what we get. But at least give them a shot. That's all we're saying. At least give it a shot.
Well, I agree with you. Please believe.
And not only that, though, that hurts those other teams. Like, so these teams that they got in the college football playoffs, that hurts other teams like the Cincinnatis, the Oklahomas, the Wake Forest, and all in recruiting, because kids see this. And they look at it like, man, I wanted to go to Wake Forest. I wanted to go to Oklahoma. But, man, it looked like they don't have an opportunity. They screwing these teams over and putting in the Alabamas who's 7-1, the Oregons who's 7-1, the Ohio State, but the 8-0 Cincinnati. oh man, I thought about going to Cincinnati, but why am I going to go to Cincinnati? They're not going to get them in the college football playoffs. Why do I want to go to Cincinnati? You know what I'm saying? It hurts recruiting. This is just a complete debacle when it comes to this, man. It's so biased.
Look at the year. I mean, this system right here. Look at the year that Ohio State didn't win the Big Ten, and they still got in the playoff.
Yes,
I forgot who won the Big. Yeah, I forgot who won the Big Ten. Who won the Big Ten championship? And Ohio State still got in. They still got in. They still got in.
Penn State?
It was Penn State or somebody, but they still end up getting in the playoff. If you win your conference, yes, they supposed to be considered in, but instead they went with Ohio State over them. Instead, say this is why this system. I wish they can go to a number 8, to a top 8. I believe Cincinnati, Oklahoma should be in the top 4.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that too. 8 teams would be better. I think 8 teams would definitely be better because 4 is just not enough, man. Or is it 6? It's 6 right now, right?
Yeah, it's
6.
4.
Well, no, it's 4. It's 4.
You're gonna always have
the 2 are at
You're
large.
gonna always have a controversy every single year between those 4 teams who should be in between the 5th, 6th. You're gonna always have controversy every year on that.
Yeah. I know they can't make it like the March Madness or nothing like that, but they definitely need to make it 8.
I have always thought it should be the big 5 conferences, the top 5 conferences, the 5 next conferences, and then 2 at largest. In order to 12. I understand, but that gives everyone a chance. Their champions should be the ones that's going to make a clear cut. No reason to. It's just unfortunate that the Alabama's in the SEC and they have to do battle with whoever they have to do battle with. That's unfortunate. But I mean, if you win out, that's what that solidify you as the best team in that conference, and you go ahead to continue to play against the other best teams in the conferences across the country, and then find out who's the national champion.
And
I want to see what's going to happen in a couple of years.
Who has Alabama played?
Only 2 teams that Alabama played this year that was good was Florida and Ole Miss. That was it. And they
lost to unranked.
They played LSU this weekend.
A&M. They lost to
unranked A&M.
They lost to unranked A&M.
But you fought Oklahoma for a close game against Kansas.
Yeah.
Come on, man. But they won. We won. But this is my thing, though. This is what I want to see, though. And this is going to truly prove what everybody's saying here on this panel. When Oklahoma and Texas head to the SEC, I want to see what's going to happen then. I want to see if they're going to favor Oklahoma and Texas once they're in the SEC, either next year or in the next couple of years. I want to see if this same thing is going to happen.
Come down to y'all winning in the SEC for y'all to be favored in the SEC. I think it's a good move for Oklahoma, but I don't think it's a great move for Texas. I just don't think it's a great move.
I feel you.
Okay, moving right along. Before we hit this NBA, Elena, what do you think? It just came up. What do you think about Drake wanting a WNBA team in Toronto?
I think I'm
the WNBA. So I'm for it.
Listen, I'm all the way. And I just saw that too. Actually, that's what I was just looking at. But I'm all the way for that. I think that would be great for the league, especially if he is as supportive of that team as he is of the Raptors. Because what the WNBA needs, which absolutely, and what the WNBA needs, which I mean, slowly but surely, it has progressed. But what the WNBA needs more is somebody like Drake to back them and to sponsor them and to shine that light on them and say, hey, like, we talk about the NBA, we talk about college basketball, we talk about, all of these things, but there's some women over here that can just flat out ball. Right. And it's a competitive league. It's exciting to watch. It, like I said, it is progressing. There's a lot more WNBA players that can dunk, that can finish in the lane like Kyrie, that can shoot like Steph. Like there's just so many different aspects of that league in particular. So I think as long as he is genuinely supportive and behind that team and gives that team the same energy that he gives the Raptors, I think that would be incredible for the WNBA.
And I think before Kobe passed, Kobe was a big advocate of the WNBA.
Absolutely.
I had a feeling that Kobe, if Kobe was still alive, he would have made it. Honestly, I think he would have. I think he would have. I think he would have, even though, I think he would have brought a team to Philadelphia. I think he would have.
Oh, for sure. Or he would have just bought a team, period. Yeah.
And a lot of, mind you, one of the Kalia Copper. She's a Philadelphia native that just won the WNBA championship with Kansas
And
Parker.
she's tough.
And she's tough. I watched her play in Philadelphia when she was out here. So the girl can ball out. And the thing about it is, Kobe would have brought a team to Philadelphia and have a team in Toronto. The WNBA needs to expand. I'm telling you, these girls all out. I just don't think they get the respect.
That's why they can't expand though. That's the whole thing right there. What you just said. Is that they can't get enough fans in the seats to expand. That's the whole issue.
But that's not necessarily true because with the teams that they have,
finals.
Yeah, but with the teams that they have currently constructed, it's the market and it's also the attention. The lack of attention that's being paid, and it's also the lack of endorsements behind them. That is exactly it. Because there's a lot of NBA players that go to WNBA games. There's a lot of NBA players that talk about WNBA players or WNBA games, as well as celebrities also in as well. But like I said, what this league needs is people like Drake to stand behind it, and maybe this will inspire his peers to say, okay, well, I got a team in my city. Let me go represent for them, or let me go, do something for them. And
like Chance did for Chicago.
Exactly. Like prime example, Bishop. Thank you. Exactly. That.
Even Mark Davis becoming the owner of the Las Vegas Aces now. So that's just a good thing too. So
the marketing is there because I had to do, like, I'm a marketing major. So the marketing is there for the WNBA for the most part because they're just a subsidiary of the NBA. But some of the issue, as everyone was stating, is that there's just not people who are interested in the game. So true enough, of course, with Drake getting on, like we just talked about, Chance, Mark Davis purchasing a franchises, you start to get that star power. When Kobe was here showing up to the games, you start to get that star power, and that star power starts to put people in the seat. So as, like, of course, when the new president for the WNBA came in, that was her one of her biggest things that she wanted to do was find out how do we get more butts in the seats. COVID was prevalent at the time, so of course wasn't no one going to the games. But now that now that it has gone away, then there's opportunity for it. So I foresee in the near future, with everyone starting to really get behind the game and how things are going, it's not dominated by the same teams anymore. It's starting to be bounced around. That there's going to be more action for the WNBA to get more fans and seats. Me myself, we don't have a team here around Louisiana or anywhere in this region now that the Houston doesn't have a team. So whenever I'm in,
which they need a team again too. They need a
WNBA. They won the first 4 WNBA championships, and now they just look like
it was the LA thing when the league started. LA and Houston
for a long time.
So coach, that's on you, coach.
All you saw was the
put together a group, coach.
Rather than
the Comets, New York, and LA. It was the top 3 teams back in the day when they first came out.
When they first started.
And that Houston Comets team still is legendary. Like it's one of those things. Like if you know, I mean, they had Cynthia Cooper.
Oh my goodness!
That team was legendary. They were untouchable. They were incredible. And Houston is just a great basketball city. That's what I'm saying. Houston,
all 4 of them in the basketball Hall of Fame too.
Yeah, it's crazy that they don't have a team no more. And
it's like Houston is a great place for basketball and entertainment, and especially like for a women's team. Like you got, this is the thing, and I'm about to really put it together for y'all. Houston has a great opportunity to have a basketball team because right now one of the top female rappers in the game is
out of Houston.
Megan Thee Stallion. If you can put 2 and 2 and make it equal 4.
Yeah.
Listen, like that would be, again,
top R&B artist as well.
That's what I'm saying. It would be incredible. Like, think about that. Like, think about the support. The R&B. I mean, think about the support. Like Beyonce, that we talking to you. Like, think about the support that a Houston team could get right now, where the spotlight is on them so huge. Like, there's a lot of opportunity for the WNBA to grow. So I hope that Drake really sits down with somebody or somebody's whatever, however he has to do it, and makes that happen, because I feel like that would be great for that league.
That'd be awesome.
I got a question for y'all too. Is this now, Freddie? I'm not going to get into you because you should be punched in doing some work right now. But the whole situation with the salary of the WNBA. I don't know if y'all saw this.
Ooh, talk to me. Talk
Y'all
to
know
me. I got
Drew
those.
Big
Bird
subject,
has
big
almost had the
subject.
same accolades as LeBron James and get paid millions less than him.
Diana
Drew Bird
Taurasi
has
too.
4 WNBA championships. So does LeBron James. She's only getting less. She's getting like $500,000 as being a
So
4-time champion.
I talk what I know, right?
Oh,
And-
here go
and-
Freddie.
Oh,
I knew he was coming.
Oh,
I
Jesus.
knew he was
Oh,
coming.
Jesus.
That's so weird. Let
was
Trey
coming.
talk.
I
Trey talk. Do
knew
not listen to him.
he
So
was
check this out. So check this out. I talk what I know, right? I have researched this and done it. This has been the topic of a lot of my coursework. So in the military, right, we have a thing called soul food night, or no, surf and turf. So surf and turf is basically steak and crab and all that type of stuff y'all hit up at Red Lobster, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for us to be able to give a surf and turf meal, we need you to patron our organization a couple of times more. So we don't need you showing up when we got steak and lobster, when you ain't showing up when we just making veal.
or
So
spaghetti.
yeah, or spaghetti, yeah. So you know what I'm saying? So that budget, that's the same terms in the WNBA. There ain't no one showing up to the games. So there's no
That's
And
so
that's what I
it
was
makes
saying.
it makes a
true,
problem.
but-
It's a problem.
that's
true,
there's
too.
there's
That's
yeah
true,
there's
too,
That's what I was alluding
but-
to. That's
So
what
yeah,
that's
there's no
why.
one showing up. So
You
there's no
can't
money.
give them
There's no
millions.
you can't make any money if you're not
Yeah,
making
you
any money.
can't
You
give
can't put you
here's-
can't get
here's-
any.
but
They're
here's-
not
but
getting
here's
they're
the-
not getting endorsement deals like that. They're not making.
And it
But
falls on
here's
the,
the
it falls
flip-
on the NBA too, because that's their
they are getting endorsements deals.
Yeah,
Don't
they get-
get
But
them.
they
no,
get-
They are with
no,
Nike and
yeah.
Adidas. They
No,
get
they
them
are.
endorsements.
They
They're
are.
not getting them like the NBA players are getting them though. They're
Yeah.
getting them,
But
they're
they
not
should
getting like
be.
the NBA
They
players.
should
They should be.
They should
So
be.
that-
But here's the
But
thing.
they're not
Here's the
because
thing.
Hey, this
Here's
the
the-
deal.
they're not putting as many people in the seats. That's why.
But that's
That's not
that's
true.
what I was going to
That's
get
not all the
into.
way true.
Hey, what the WNBA has done, they took them out them big arenas and put them in the college arenas so they could put fans in the seats. They condensed it, but at the same time, you got to look at this though. These girls got to play all year round. They got to go overseas
to make decent money.
They got to
Yeah.
play 365 days a year just to make ends meet. WNBA been around for almost damn near 30 years, and they have not changed that salary. They have not changed nothing. NBA created the WNBA. Why the NBA can't invest more into the WNBA if the NBA created it?
Yep.
And here's the thing:
My
they
thing is-
honestly just got to. They just got to. Oh, go ahead, Freddie. Before I go.
No, you
Go
good,
ahead.
Elena.
Go
No,
ahead.
you good,
Lane.
Elena.
What I was gonna say is that they just got the pay increase because it was 100,000
They
before
did.
it became
They just did it in
500K.
the CBA.
So they have
Yeah,
been
it
made
was.
making progression. Yeah, it was
It's
it was
low.
worse than what it is now.
Yeah,
It was
it's
way
It
was like there was some place that was
worse.
getting like 90,000.
It
They
was
wouldn't
bad.
even get the 100K. So
Right.
here's the thing. I don't think the issue is the putting the fans in the seats, because at the end of the day, just for the last couple of years that I can say that, because I do advocaately watch the WNBA, I do see that those arenas are sold out. There are people that are paying attention. There are people that are talking about the game. They're trending on social media. You know what I'm saying? It's becoming more prevalent. But my issue is this, and I think that I don't know if you guys recall, but I think it may have either been last year or the year before, but Draymond even spoke about the WNBA and just saying how, they quote unquote should stop, that the women should stop quote unquote complaining and figure out a solution as to why there's the pay differential and why things are going the way that they're going. And my thing is this, is that the NBA created the WNBA at the end of the day, and they have the power and the influence and the money. Let's keep it honest, and the money to put behind and to fully promote them instead of trying to promote them like a charity case. I feel like a lot of times when there's promotion from the WNBA from the NBA, it's like we're just doing this just because this is in our contract. No, don't do that. Do that consistently. Like they need consistent support. They don't need support when it's convenient. They need consistent support so that they can bring that consistent revenue of streams, and they can bring that consistent revenue of jersey sales and and whatever the case. Like it's hard to even get a WNBA jersey right now.
Exactly.
Like if you try to order a WNBA jersey, that's difficult, and that could be a part of the revenue to push that league forward, where players would get paid more. But if you're making it hard, it's kind of like, how do we combat that? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are they supposed to combat something like that where they don't even have control over their own likeness? And it's almost like they're like the NCAA before players could get paid. You know what I mean? Like it's.
I want to correct something.
But go ahead.
I just want to say this real quick before you go, Freddie, real quick. When it came to the WNBA finals and Diana Taurasi had to travel back and forth for her child to be born, nobody had time. She had to come out of her own damn pocket for that.
To pay for that. Yeah, that's crazy.
For that. That's not right. Crazy. That's not right.
That's crazy.
I want to say one thing. I want to correct something Spotlight said.
Come out their pocket to travel. You never see it.
They don't even get private jets. They fly commercial.
Right. They fly commercial.
I want to correct something Spotlight said, because Spotlight incorrectly said something wrong. Kobe would not have bought a team in Philadelphia.
I knew he was going to
do He would have bought one in LA.
Right now. Mute his ass right now.
In LA. He would have bought it in LA.
Kobe had enough money to do both. What are you saying? Kobe had enough money to do both.
What has Kobe done for the city of Philadelphia? Can you tell me that?
Freddie, that's he but a little tight dog.
But what has he done?
You might be jaded a little bit.
But what has he done in Philadelphia, though? He done everything in LA.
That's because he played in LA. The heart is Philly. What are you saying?
The heart is LA. He bleed LA.
He bleeds.
He rep Philly. He the Eagles. Yeah, he rep Philly.
He is an Eagles fan. Come on.
He do.
Yes, but guess what? At the end of the day, he wasn't gonna buy one. He wasn't gonna buy no team in Philadelphia. He was gonna be in LA. Why didn't he not live in LA? Why did he live in LA, not Philadelphia?
Because that's where he played
at Philly over LA.
LA.
Hey, Freddie, what he was
I'm just trolling.
Freddie, what he was going to buy a team in Philadelphia and have his daughter.
Hey, Elaine, I'm just trolling. That's all I'm doing.
We know. He was
going to sign his daughter.
We know.
Sign his daughter. That's
what he would
have
signed his daughter.
And honestly, if we could say really quick, and it breaks my heart every time we even speak about Kobe and his daughter, but his daughter was going to be one of the greatest women's basketball players because she already at 11 years old
had that mentality.
Other world, she was just levels above the competition. Like she just not even just the mentality, but the natural physical ability. Yeah. Like if it's one thing to have a mentality, but if you can put the physical ability with it as well, because she was his junior without being a boy. Like she was his junior.
Absolutely.
I mean, facial expressions, mentality, even fadeaway. Hey, I didn't have no fadeaway at 11. Like, you know what I mean? And it was pure too. Like
Mambacita.
I mean, man, it just God, it pains me every time I think about it.
One thing I want the WNBA to do is start looking at the smaller schools in college basketball, because I think
that's a good point.
A lot of good women college basketball players come out from smaller schools.
So just like
they don't get looked at.
Just like any professional, that still falls on the organization. So, I mean, everything we talking about, it falls on the organization. The NBA, the WNBA is structured off the NBA.
Ooh, somebody get Freddie. Somebody please get Freddie. Please get him. Please get him.
So
please get him.
So that's how it's broken down. So it's going to take the GMs and the other and the ownership groups and all that type of stuff to be able to put these teams together. Like you say, yes, or we all know the smaller schools is where it's at. It's just they don't have the player. They can have the dollars going where else, so they wasn't noticed. Doesn't mean they're not a baller. So that's basically what it comes out to.
Yeah.
So as soon as like
and Freddie, it will. Go ahead. Finish before I say what I gotta say.
Go ahead.
All I was gonna say, Freddie, it will be a cold day in hell before you ever break my ankle, sir. Okay.
Do I smell like all sports all plays weekend when we have basketball?
That's what it sounds like.
Listen,
that's what it sounds like.
Freddie, I'm with it. Freddie, I will smoke your boots. Please stop playing with me. Please stop playing with me. Please stop playing with me.
He don't want that smoke, Elena. He don't want that smoke.
Not at all.
So keeping
Not at all.
it pushing. We had 5 games that was on the slate last night. We had the Bucks against the Pistons that came out victorious. The Bucks came out victorious 117-89. The Heat and the Mavericks 125-110 with the win for the Miami Heat. The Kings lost to the Jazz as probably expected, 119-113. The Suns defeated the Pelicans 112-100, and of course, them LA Lakers walked away.
Yeah, they didn't play.
The victory 119-117 over the Houston Rockets.
What
up?
you
What you
will
got
not
to
do,
say?
Trey, what you will not do is make it seem like y'all Lakers did something.
Yeah, y'all didn't
be
play.
the
Y'all didn't
1-6
play well.
Houston
Y'all didn't
team.
even play well
And y'all let a
though.
rookie
Y'all
almost
didn't
kill
even play well
y'all,
throughout
bro.
the whole 2 games.
I ain't saying nothing about this.
Hey,
I
Rockets
ain't
beat
saying nothing about this
themselves.
because Freddie about to come in here. I'm telling you that right now.
Hold on.
What I say?
One more, Freddie. Shut
What
up.
I say?
There you
I
go.
was right on it.
The
I was right on the
There
money,
you
y'all. I
go.
was right on the
The
money.
Rockets
You
beat
knew
themselves more than
he
the
was
Lakers
coming
beat
back.
them.
Trayvon, tell him what's up. Trayvon, tell him what's
man.
up.
Man, stop it. Y'all ain't gonna act like y'all just beat a 1-16.
I ain't hey. Braun had what did Braun have? 30, 10, and what?
Oh my
And then what
God.
30 of
did
them
AD and
same.
Russ do? And what did AD and Russ do?
Y'all know y'all didn't play well. Y'all know y'all didn't play well. Y'all know y'all didn't play well.
27 apiece.
Y'all know y'all didn't play well.
And what did Melo do? What did Melo do?
Stop,
Y'all know
man.
y'all didn't play
Y'all
well.
not
Don't
on
do
that.
that. Don't act like
Freddie,
y'all
hey,
played
Freddie.
well. Don't act like y'all
Hey,
played well.
Freddie.
throughout the whole 2
Melo,
games.
Coach, get him.
Melo was
Coach, get him,
15,
Coach.
2, and
Get him.
1.
Come on.
Hey,
Y'all
Freddie,
act
get
don't
him.
act like y'all
Man,
didn't play
y'all don't get no
well.
props.
Don't act like
Hey.
y'all didn't play well.
Y'all don't get props
Hey,
for that.
Freddie.
What's
Hey,
up?
Freddie, get a good shot of the form, baby. Get a good shot of the form. That's all you gonna see.
Did y'all get nervous?
Kobe.
Did y'all get nervous?
Kobe.
Did y'all
Elena.
get that shot? Get that shot in
See, Elena?
Anthony's face?
Hey, Elena, unlike you, see, you took your game for LeBron. I took mine for Kobe. You gonna be scared of the
Boy,
moment.
please.
I'm coming to take that
Please.
moment. I'm coming to take that moment.
Freddie, you look like you called timeout within the first couple seconds. Don't do that. Don't do
I
that.
did.
Don't do
You know
that.
why? I
Don't do
did. You
that.
know why?
'Cause you're
I'm gonna come
tired.
over and say,
'Cause you're
I
tired.
did. You know why? I'm gonna come over and say, you sure you want this? And
Listen, Freddie gonna do a
No.
Freddie gonna do a Euro step. He gonna miss the layup, be like, time out.
There it is.
Hey,
There it
man.
is.
Hey,
There
man.
it is.
What
but
y'all
our
doing?
Lakers look good.
Y'all
My
not-
Lakers
y'all
look good.
finna ride this hype train on the Lakers, man. On a
They really
1-16.
look good. They really look good. The last
No,
2 games.
they honestly, I
It
feel
gotta
like
give
they
it
came.
time. It gotta give them
Yeah,
time.
they
Come
with
on.
that, and they came off. They came off. They played a couple back to back, so I don't think they gave the full effort. Because I mean, come on, let's keep it 100. Like they for surely should have beat Houston by more than 2. Like let's keep
Thank you.
it all the way real.
And they
But
should have
I
beat us
think,
by
but I,
more than 10 the other night. The Rockets had
yeah,
27
but I think
turnovers the other night.
I think that
We had
I
24 last
yeah,
night.
no, for sure. But I think that, for one, we are still figuring things out. But for two, you know what I'm saying, they do need, you know what I'm saying, they, like I said, they played a lot of games back to back. So it probably, you know what I'm saying, like there was a lot of things that culminated.
And
I feel like,
Elena,
as to why
Elena,
they didn't play as
Elena,
well
I
as
got
they
a
could
question
have.
for you. I got a question
Yes,
for you,
sir.
Elena.
Yes, sir.
Beginning of the season, everybody's calling LeBron old. You seen that alley oop that AD threw, and he came out there and
Listen,
did
I
that
see.
dunk.
I'm
Year
not even
19.
I'm not even listen. I'm not even just talking about the alley oop. I'm talking about where he came down the lane and he just straight two hand. I'm talking about that one.
In
Just
year
straight two hand.
19. In year
I just like
19.
to see it. I like to see it.
In year
That's all.
19,
I like to see it.
In year 19,
Yeah, in year 19. Listen, hey man, I don't know who's supplying the HGH, but I ain't mad.
And I'll give him credit. I'm gonna give him credit. I'm
Y'all
unlike
ain't gonna act
Kobe.
like Jalen
Unlike
Green
Pride,
dunk on
I
y'all
love
like
Kobe.
crazy. Y'all ain't gonna act like Jalen Green
Listen.
dunked on y'all like
What?
crazy. Y'all ain't gonna act like Jalen Green.
Oh no, he did. He
Okay,
did.
so
The rookie
honestly,
came in there and did what he
Green.
did on y'all.
Listen,
Come on,
listen,
bro.
Jalen Green is my Jalen Green is my rookie of the year. So I wasn't mad at that at all, and I was very impressed. I'm always very impressed when I watch that young man. Freddie, don't try to Freddie, don't try to ease your way back on the Bron train, because I ain't forget.
No, I
Don't try to
love
ease your
Bron.
way back on.
See, Elena, that's what you wrong. I love Bron.
Don't try to ease
that's
your
where
way
you're
back in.
wrong. I love Bron.
We're not
Bron is my
accepting your. We're
dude.
not
Hold up,
accepting
didn't
your
we just
application.
call
But-
LeBron a quitter not too long
But
ago?
he is a
He
quitter.
He
He has
did
no
when they lost
heart.
to the Suns.
He
did.
has
They
no
lost
heart.
to the Suns.
But that's
He
my
did.
dude. That is my dude. He
Listen,
quit. He has no
listen.
heart. But I still love
Freddie,
Bron.
we're
It sound like
Freddie.
you
We're,
riding the
Freddie
we're
is
fence.
rejecting.
bipolar,
It sound like
bro.
you
Freddie.
riding the
He's
fence.
he's LeBron polar. He's LeBron polar.
No,
Freddie,
I
we're
want
rejecting your
my
application.
players like Kobe. I want them with that mindset, that mama killer. But that's what I'm okay with LeBron not having that. But he's still a great player. He's still one of the greatest players of all time.
Freddie, your application is rejected. We're not accepting you back.
Well,
can't come
while
back.
he's in LA,
It's
while
over.
he's in LA,
It's
while
over.
he's in LA,
It's
you have
over.
no choice. While he's in LA,
It's
he has
over.
no
No,
choice.
I have a choice. I have a choice. I'm locking my door, and don't try to
No,
sneak in
well,
because
because you're not
the
an LA
alarm is
fan
going.
neither.
Okay?
You're not an LA fan neither, Elena. You're a Sacramento King
But
fan.
see here. First of all, that's where you're incorrect. I'm not even from Sacramento. I live here. That's one.
You're a Sacramento
two,
King fan.
I have never been a fan of it. You were correct. I'm not an LA fan. I'm a Bron fan. I said that from the very beginning. That's why
You can't be a
recruited me.
fan
If
of
you
a
want to
player.
be
You gotta
all the
have a
way
team.
honest.
You
If
can't be
we
no
want to
fan
be
of
all
no
the way
player.
honest, listen,
You
I
can't
was
be a
recruited
fan
by
of no
Freddie
player.
because I was a
You
Bron
got
fan,
that,
and that's my
Freddie.
goat. Period.
So not to take anything from the Rockets, they did have 5 players in double figures. So what you think about
They
y'all?
did.
What y'all potential outlook there, Coach?
I feel good about the future. We got a very young backcourt. Jalen Green, like I said, man, I'm
Impressive,
with Miss
man.
Elena,
Impressive.
man. That dude is an alpha dog. That dude already stepping up, making big plays, and that shot was ridiculous that he shot over Anthony Davis. Able to step back, and shoot over a 6'11" Anthony Davis, who's lunging right there at him to make that three. That was very cool moment to see. Michael Porter Jr. did get off a good shot. They were looking for Jalen Green on that possession. He was not open. And he got off a good shot, just hit the back iron. The shot that he made early, that's that same step back that he made early over Anthony Davis. But again, I like our potential of this team. I don't think we will be playoff bound or play-in seed bound. I just want to see more improvement. We had 17 wins last year. I think I want to see us above that, at least that 25 range. But I like where this team going. I mean, we fought hard the last 2 games. The turnovers is a definitely issue. The Lakers definitely amped up their pressure last night. We turned the ball over 24 times, 27 the night before. That's too many turnovers. You can't beat anybody not getting a shot up every possession. That's 24 possessions you didn't get a shot up. And the Lakers scored 25 times off those turnovers. That's too many. You cannot have that. But other than that, I like our future. Jalen Green is going to be the rookie of the year. That guy's a stud. He's going to have some good games. He's going to have some bad games. He's going to have some games where he's going to be inconsistent. And he's having a little struggle, but he picked it up last night. And Christian Wood is a rebounder. He's a scorer. He also a phenom inside the paint. And he also cause problem outside. He just can't shoot any goddamn good free throws. That's the problem. And we hurt ourselves from down free throw line too, so we have to improve on that. But I like this future, man, of this basketball team. We got some great young pieces. Just need to unload some of these veterans and stuff, and just go completely just go young and stuff like that. Unload Eric Gordon. Please get John Wall going. But I like the way John Wall's been a mentor to this young team too.
So do y'all think that, so with the youth movement in Houston and OKC, do y'all see that as a potential future for the West for the most part?
Yeah.
Yep, I can see it, but it's going to take some time because the West is very loaded. It's going to take some time. I mean, you got LeBron in the Western Conference. You got Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook there. You got Phoenix. You got Jamal Murray and Denver, who's going to be there for. Yeah. You got Steph that's still going to be there. I can see it, but it's going to be tough. It's going to take about a couple 2 to 3. It's going to take about 3 to 4 years for us to get back into the same order again. It's going to be tough because the West has the most dominant, toughest. It's the most dominant, toughest conference in the NBA. So it's gonna take some time. But I like this team future though. I like the direction we're heading in with a young backcourt that's 19 and 20. I like this direction that we're going.
Yeah, I think Houston definitely is on their way. I do think that they need to get maybe some different veteran leadership in there. I just don't think that the veterans that they have right now are conducive to what they're trying to do. Yeah. Just like, you were saying, it's, you still had the West is still stacked. You still got Denver. You still got Dallas. You still got the Warriors. You still
Yep.
got the Clippers when whatever happens with Kawhi. You know, you still have
Yeah,
the
Memphis.
Lakers, you got the Suns, you got Memphis. Like there's a lot of teams that they gotta do it with to even
Yeah,
get a play-in. Not
yeah.
that's not even an
Just
AFC, just to get a
play-in. Yeah.
play-in spot.
Yep. That's
Just to
it.
get a
Yep.
play-in spot. But I mean, I think if they can get some different veteran leadership in there, if they can get some maybe some 3-and-D guys, I think that would definitely help them to get a little bit more size inside. That would also help as well. But I love Jalen Green. I love that he's fearless. I love that he is not afraid of the moment. I love that he and we saw that I guess this last game against the Lakers. Like
Oh
he
man,
he
yeah.
didn't care who was guarding him.
He didn't-
It didn't
yeah.
matter who it was. He was gonna take if he felt like he had a shot, he was gonna go for it. And I
Mhm.
love to
I
see
love
that. And
that.
I think as long as he develops and continues on that path, I think that they definitely have a bright future and that they got a star in Jalen Green for sure.
Yep.
Spotlight.
It's the future for it's the future for the Western Conference. I know that it's still a lot of young teams.
Yeah.
John Morant's a part of that young team. Houston and
Yeah,
Jalen
for
Green
sure.
part of that young team. You might say I have an internet issue. That's why I keep camming down. Yeah, it's just a lot of young teams. That's especially with the Pelicans. They still have a young team. Hopefully, they could be on the come up soon if they find the right pieces. Even though Zion is not the answer in New Orleans, but they still have a young basketball team on top of that. So they got a future as well. It's just not working at this moment. But OKC with all those draft picks, that's gonna be the one team that I really want to look at when it comes to all those draft picks. You traded Kemba Walker, Dennis Schroeder's no longer there. You mix them in with what they have now. Look out for OKC. They could be really dangerous on the come up.
Mm-hmm. So who's y'all think the better team out of the those young teams of which you just mentioned? The Memphis Grizzlies, Houston Rockets, OKC.
I mean, Memphis is definitely
Memphis.
Man,
Memphis.
They
They
made the
they're the
playoffs.
most complete.
Yeah,
They're the most
complete.
complete young team.
They made the playoffs last year. Beating Golden State, and Ja Morant was a stud. He averaged 19 points last year. A game he entered the playoffs in the playing game, averaged over 30 points per game. He was nearly unstoppable. If he can just get some consistency in that jump shot, he will be an unguardable guard to even guard. Dylan Brooks, Aaron Baines, a complete 3-point shooter. Then you add Steven Adams over there that can board up, but you do lose offense. But he does crash the boards very well. And if Jaren Jackson Jr., that guy is the key. If he can stay healthy and to become that second scorer that takes on that pressure off Ja Morant, they can be very scary. So they definitely the better team out of all the young teams. They're definitely the better team. They're definitely the most complete and competitive team. And they also can play some very, very good defense too. They were top 10 in the league defense. So they're out of that pack, they're the most complete team. And they can be probably in a 7th seed this year. Or the 8th seed, probably be compete. They're going to be compete in the play-in throughout the playoffs this year. They're going to be in it.
Okay,
yeah,
so go ahead, Elena.
No, I definitely agree. I think with Memphis is definitely the better out of the younger teams. I think Houston is still on the rise. OKC has to figure some things out still. I think that they kind of just got a bunch of picks, and it's not really. It hasn't really like you know what I'm saying. Yeah, it's not really meshed yet. So I think we have to kind of wait and see how they mesh. But Memphis is definitely the leader of the young teams as far as in the West because I'm an advocate for Ja. I spoke about this before the season even started. I said that he was going to be top 5, one of the top 5 this year. I think if he continues on the trajectory that he's on, he could be in the MVP race. But I just think that he's worked so hard to polish his game to where it's more consistent, and he now believes in that jump shot. To speak on what you were speaking on is that before it was kind of he would take it, but it was you could still see he was kind of hesitant because it wasn't consistent enough. But now I think he's put that work in the gym, and you can tell by the way that he shoots it or by the way he attacks the basket. It's just like he doesn't have any limitations anymore. And I think that's what makes the world a difference. And he's in a perfect city. Like they just have that grit. Like there's just everything is really perfect for them. I think they're just one one more score away from like really making some noise in the Western Conference.
Yeah.
That's honestly if we and like you said, if that I can't forget the guy,
Jaren
I
Jackson
forget the
Jr.
guy's name, but yeah, yes, if he can be consistent enough to be that second scorer for them, I think they could really make some noise and shake some things up in the West for sure.
Yep.
Spotlight.
My bad, because I had a quick phone call. So what was the question again?
The between those teams that we just spoke about, the Memphis or OKC as well as Houston, who is a better young team in the West?
Memphis. That's a no-brainer as of right now.
Yeah.
John Morant is the better player coming out of the draft is Zion Williamson, which we did have that conversation as well about the how Zion Williamson in how he's just that's just another topic for another time when it comes to they're just you got Dylan Brooks as their guard that can actually play on the opposite of John Morant. Their chemistry is just there. Like their chemistry is good, and they're keeping the same pieces around. They're not switching pieces in and out every offseason. They're building through the draft. They're not bringing in those popular key. They're not building a super team, but they playing with chemistry that they make it to the playoffs every single year. So I love what the coach is doing in Memphis. And does people say, "Oh, John Morant needs another superstar"? I don't think he does. I think he is the superstar for Memphis. So if you bring another superstar, then you're going to take away the chemistry from what the team already has. So I think Memphis right now is a no-brainer. Is one of the best probably the best young team.
That's why I say it's very important if Jaren Jackson Jr. can stay on the court. I think he can be that secondary scorer next to John Morant right there to take some of that pressure off John Morant. And Dylan Brooks also can score as well. He averaged 20 points per game in the playoffs. And he's a 3-and-D player as well. He can also guard the opponent's best player. And DeAnthony Melton, who I really like that we traded to Memphis, that the Houston Rockets traded to Memphis. He's a good 3-and-D player. So Memphis got some great young talent and some great 3-and-D players on that team. But if the key is Jaren Jackson Jr., he has to stay healthy for Memphis to go places. I think that could be that second scorer next to John Morant.
So tonight we slated NBA slate. We got the Celtics at the Magic, Knicks at the Pacers, the Raptors at the Wizards, with the Trailblazers going down to Cleveland to face the Cavaliers. We have the Bulls and the 76ers. That should be a good game. Clippers and the Timberwolves. The Nuggets versus the Grizzlies. Hawks
that should be a good game too.
Yes.
Hawks versus the Nets. Hornets versus the Warriors. Mavericks versus the Spurs, and the Pelicans versus the Sacramento Kings. So we was talking about two games that we think should be good. Who y'all got in the Grizzlies and Nuggets game?
I'm going with the upset. I'm taking the Memphis Grizzlies.
I want to say Memphis. I'm gonna take Memphis in that game. Memphis still can be a capable team without Jamal Murray. I like they point guard that they have in Monte Morris, who can fill it up, who can shoot, and he was a great player at Iowa State. He was a great player at Iowa Sate as well. Led them to some Big 12 championships. They got Jokic over there. But that Memphis team, man, that's just a good young up and coming team, and I believe they can give the Denver Nuggets some problems, slow the pace down, play at their pace. And Dylan Brooks, he's going to be on their best score. So, and he's not great. And I like the head coach Taylor Jenkins. I like what that coaching staff doing. So I got Memphis for an upset. I went coach spotlight. I got Memphis for an upset.
I agree.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take Memphis with an upset as well. I think Memphis is just gelling a little bit more earlier than the Nuggets are right now. The Nuggets are still kind of having some struggles as far as kind of incorporating Jamal Murray back into the starting lineup, and just they haven't really gone on a run just yet.
Yeah.
But I mean, this could be the game. I mean, you never know, but I definitely think just how everything's been currently constructed, and just from what I've seen, I definitely would take Memphis in the upset.
Okay. Bulls and 76ers.
Hey, Mike, stand up. I got the Chicago Bulls, man. I got the Bulls, man.
Go.
This gonna be a good game because
That's gonna be another good one too.
Yeah.
All right, my Wi-Fi. I mean, my computer keep
I
acting
got-
with this internet connection.
I'm gonna
man,
roll.
but
I'm gonna go ahead, Coach. I'm gonna let you
but
answer
the
that first.
Philadelphia 76ers, if you notice, without the whole Ben Simmons BS, you see that we move the ball so well without him. We seem like when we had Ben Simmons in there, we was stagnant. Everybody was standing around. You actually see an offensive flow with our offense now, and our guys are stepping up. You have the guy Niang. He had 20 points the other night. Tyrese Maxey, Seth Curry was definitely balling out. Court Miles came in with 15 that started. Even though we had no Embiid and no Tobias, we were still able to win that game, which we will have both in this game tonight for Embiid and Tobias Harris. But it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a really good game. I know DeMar DeRozan has been playing very well.
Yes.
These are
extremely.
they talk about him in MVP consideration right now. So they still have Caruso over there. Lonzo has been playing well defensively. This is gonna be a good game. This is a preview of what the Eastern Conference is going to look like. So I am gonna be biased to take my 76ers, but I'm not gonna stray away from the Bulls winning either. So yeah.
I mean, the Sixers are a different team. When they don't have Ben Simmons, I saw that when they played against the Hawks in the playoff in Game 6. When Maxey immediately got in the game, he was immediately hitting these open shots. Tobias Harris in that first half really kept the 76ers in that game with that 20-point half. But the way they moved the ball with Tyrese Maxey and Shea Milton in the playoffs, and Ben Simmons was on the bench, that made me feel like, hey, I think the Sixers can be more competitive without Ben Simmons. And even in the lineup, you can see when he gets back into the game, you can see everybody is packed for him to go to the paint. You can't run a pick and roll offense with him because he won't shoot the basketball. Even if Joel Embiid is posting up in the paint and Ben Simmons and they're double teaming off Ben Simmons, you still can't cut to the basket because you still got guys in the paint. But now the floor is open up. The floor is open up. Yin Yang didn't get an opportunity in Utah. He just didn't get that opportunity off that bench. And you seen how he's playing. Drummond is an upgrade. Is an upgrade over Dwight Howard. Clearly, he's younger. He's a alpha dog. He was an all-star. He was a rebounding champion. He plays good defense. And you can see it's not their start is not getting in the way of what Ben Simmons doing. They look comfortable. They look happy. And I really like this 76ers team without Ben Simmons. Now the Chicago Bulls, I expected them to be good, but not this good. DeMar DeRozan is a multiple-time All-Star. Zach LaVine is on another level. You got a borderline All-Star over there in Nick Vucevic, who can knock down jump shots. Caruso has won a championship. Lonzo Ball has improved on three-point shooting and defense. That's going to be a good game, man. I don't know what to decide right here. It's a really tough game where Tobias Harris is an underrated player that should be an all-star type player in the Eastern Conference. I'm going to just take the Red Hot Bulls, man. I'm going to go with the Red Hot Bulls. They're hot right now. I'm going to ride the Bulls until they cool off. Somebody decide to really cool them out. But Philadelphia can win this basketball game as well, man.
Definitely. I'm riding with the Bulls too. Mike, stand up.
Mike, stand up. You know he's going
Today, man.
berserk right now. He was going berserk right now.
All them Cali players on there, I have no choice but to ride with the Bulls in this one.
Man, I'm so lucky. I mean, I wish I was going to the game today. I know that traffic is in Philadelphia right now.
So another one on the slate. Want to see what y'all takes on the Hornets versus the Warriors. What y'all got?
Woo, man, that's gonna be a fun game. That is gonna be. I don't even know if I can really call that one, just because I mean both of those teams are hot right now. Both of those teams are clicking. LaMelo is. I mean, I saw Melo being good, but I don't know if I saw him being this good. I don't know if I saw him being this comfortable, this poised. This just looking like this game just looks so effortless to him. Like every time I watch him play, it just looks like it's just not.
I think he doesn't have
to figure out
once
too much.
Once the wrist injury happened, he went ham. He's going 100 now.
Yep.
Yeah, and like I said, it's not a foregone conclusion because I mean the Warriors are the Warriors. Obviously, they're
Right.
they're come on now, like they're a great team. They got Steph Curry, like you know what I'm saying. We all know what they do, but I don't think we saw this Hornets team being as good as they are, and at least being in contention to the point where now it's one of those things where like who do you got for like it's you really are considering like do you have the Hornets or the Warriors, but. I gotta be smart with this one. I can't count that light skinned man out. I'm gonna go with the Warriors. I think that Steph is gonna have one of those. It's gonna be one of those Steph games. But I think it's still gonna be close though. I think LaMelo and the Hornets will keep it close. But I think I have the Warriors in the edge for. I think it's gonna be close. But I'm gonna edge the Warriors.
All right, spotlight.
This is a tough game, man.
Mm-hmm.
They got
Mm-hmm.
they got Miles Bridges over there. That's
Yeah,
Bob
man.
City over there with LaMelo.
Mhm.
They got a really young, good basketball team in Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
And the Warriors, understand they're veterans. You got Andrew Wiggins, you got Draymond, you got Curry, but I'm just feeling LaMelo right now. And I'm going with the upset. But I'm going with the upset on here. But in the parlay, I'm staying away from this game. I'm staying away from this game in the parlay.
Yeah.
Because
That's Sheen spotlight. That's Sheen
I had
spotlight.
some
That's
bad
Sheen.
luck with the Jets, man. I lost $6,500
cheating.
because of the Jets last week. So yeah. I'm staying away from this game in the parlay, but I think LaMelo might want to get his shine with Steph Curry. And I think he's going to play hard and have this team play hard. Listen, we're going to be in the spotlight. We're going to be on national television. We're going to go out here and get this dub. I think it's in Golden State as well. I think it's in. I think they're going to go. I got a feeling they could go on a road and probably. I'm going with the young cats, man. I'm going with the young cats.
Listen, if Warriors tickets didn't cost a liver, I'd be there right now watching the game. But you know that how that goes.
I'm just imagine trying to go to a Raiders game when it's $500 to be in nosebleeds.
Listen,
that's why I've not been to a game since.
Hey man,
I love Charlotte. I love the Charlotte talent, man. Like. I literally got them in Washington in the playoffs when I did the round table. When I really did the round table at the bottom of the East, though, not at the top of the East. But Charlotte, it was in the play-in tournament last year before they debacled against the Pacers. Right. Terry Rozier, I know he's happy to get out of Boston.
That's all we ain't mentioned. Yeah.
20-point score all of a sudden. LaMelo Ball, we all knew he was gonna be the best brother out of every brother in there. That's what it's proven. Miles Bridges can also shoot. He can also play above the rim. PJ Washington, I like him, man. That dude is a great power forward as well. And they got a great coach over there, man. They got great players over there, man. That's a fun young team. When you watch this team, that is a fun young team. And I really like the way this team is structured. And then you go to Golden State. Even though they was drafted together, but interesting thing to me is when Klay Thompson come back. And when he gets back acclimated, how you gonna see this team really rise up in the Western Conference if Klay Thompson comes back himself after that 2-year layoff after the ACL injury. But like again, man, I got it. If I had to put money on it, I'm going for the Warriors. But just because I ain't putting no money on it, I'm gonna say Charlotte. I'm gonna just take Charlotte. I'm gonna spotlight it because I'm not putting no money. I'm gonna take Charlotte.
That's cheating. Y'all taking the easy way out.
They said riding the fence.
I mean, this is why I just like picking just straight up instead of doing it on a parlay, because knowing me, I'll probably put in like 3 type of parlays where I have the Hornets winning and then I have the Warriors winning. And then either one. I lose one or the other. So I'm just making my pick straight up on here. I'm not touching this game at all. I'm not touching Sixers and Bulls either. I'm not touching that.
So I got 2 more questions before we get up out of here. Which one coach just slipped and tapped on who's better, Lonzo or LaMelo?
LaMelo. That's no question.
Yeah, LaMelo, but we can say that Lonzo has improved.
Lonzo is improved. Sure. Lonzo is improved better. He's a better. They may be the same in playmaking because Melo can playmake. He averaged over 8 assists a game as well. Defensive is clearly Lonzo Ball. Shooting is clearly LaMelo Ball. Making a play for himself is clearly LaMelo Ball. It just Lonzo Ball. He's not a scorer. he's a playmaker and he's a defender and he can make wide open shots.
Yeah,
LaMelo can do it everything.
when it's available.
When it's available, LaMelo can create and do everything, do it all. Playmate, he just can't play no goddamn defense. He just don't want to play. He just don't play no defense on the other end of the court. That's something Ball does better. But if you want to say the better all around offensive player, yeah, that is LaMelo. Better all around probably player is probably will be Lonzo because he can play on the defensive side of the ball. He can actually play defense and he got the height.
Elena.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to go LaMelo too. But I do think that we have to consider that Lonzo had a lot more pressure coming into the league than LaMelo did, because he was the first Ball brother, and he also has a father who doesn't shut up.
Yeah.
So you have to, you know what I'm saying, you have to consider that as well. But I do think if we sit back and compare the two, I do think that LaMelo is better. I do think that LaMelo has the highest potential to be the better Ball brother. But I do think that Lonzo may be at this particular point the more solid player, just because he kind of knows what his role is. Like he's solidified in what he does best. Like, okay, I'm a point guard. I can pass. I can play defense. My jump shot has improved enough to the point where I can knock down open shots, or contested shots, whatever you know what I'm saying, whenever I need to. But LaMelo right now is just in a different space. And just, he just doesn't care. Like it just, you know what I'm saying? Like nothing really phases LaMelo. And I think that Lonzo kind of had to go through those kind of BS years, kind of have to sift through everything and get to that point. And I think LaMelo has the advantage because he came into the league like that. Because he also got to see what Lonzo went through and got it firsthand. Like, okay, so this is what it's gonna be like, and let me do this instead of that. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I think talent-wise, LaMelo is the better player, but I think Lonzo is the more solid player at this particular point.
Coach, Spotlight.
I'm gonna have to say LaMelo, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like Lonzo has not improved. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but Lonzo did have higher expectations coming out of UCLA, being a number 1 overall pick. I don't think he was the number 1 overall pick.
He was
number two, I think.
Number two.
He was number two.
Still a high expectation being number 2.
Yep.
And he went to the Lakers too.
And you went to the Lakers, so it was just so much high expectations for him, just coming out and stuff. And I think it's less pressure for LaMelo coming out, knowing that he already had a brother in the league already. But LaMelo is offensively he's just the better ball, honestly. Lonzo is he's a role player, but he could be a star at the same time if that makes sense. Like he's like an all-star reserve. In that sense of it, because he plays so good defensively. And
that's what
even though he changed his whole shooting form. That's a lot to take in too. So LaMelo he's going to be a young rising star in his league. Lonzo, he still have that expectation, but not as much because you got DeMar DeRozan, you got Caruso, you got those guys, Levine over there. That's going to be the bigger stars than you. So he could literally take a roll step back a little bit. But LaMelo, absolutely. I just have to see it from both sides.
So, question, real quick. What question? Why is the better ball shooter not getting his shine in? We talking about LiAngelo.
LiAngelo's trash. I'm sorry.
Once he went over in Japan to try to fit on sunglasses, that was it for him.
That was
listen. Hey, everybody can't make it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't go.
Everybody can't go where everyone else.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things, and I'm so sorry. And I like the Ball family. I like, if Lamar could just keep a muzzle, it'd be fine. But the thing of it is, LiAngelo, he just isn't. He's not Lonzo or he's not LaMelo, and it's not even that he falls in between those two guys. He's like a drop off for real. It's just like. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, I don't know. Like I'm not sure what it is that doesn't really connect with his game. It's just because I didn't really see a lot of LiAngelo, to be honest with you. But just from what I have seen, it's not enough. It's just not enough not to make it to make it consistently in the NBA, because there's a lot of shooters in you know what I'm saying, in the NBA. There's a lot of people that can shoot in the NBA. And at this particular point, like even, you know what I'm saying, just being a shooter, like you gotta be able to do a little you gotta be able to do a little bit more, because these guys nowadays, like, they can shoot, they can defend, they can pass. Like they have something else other than just being able to shoot. Like it's not enough to just to shoot anymore. It's not the days of, you know, where guys like Mike Miller could really thrive, because it's like, you know, we just need you to spot up. It's not the same NBA anymore. So it's like if it was maybe a little while back, I think he'd be fine. But you know,
I just see this from John Reid about Henry Ruggs. He said he was going 156 miles per hour. Got gunned, and then his level of drunk was 1.01. Yeah, he's getting convicted.
He's
done.
It's unfortunate.
It's done.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I don't watch wrestling as much, so I might just answer this question. Say question about the John Moxley going into alcohol rehab. I think it was well needed for him, because you can just tell that John Moxley, aka Dean Ambrose, wasn't the same person that he was when he left WWE. He was gaining weight. You could tell that he was drinking a lot of beer. He wasn't on point in the ring. So I just wish him the best, because I know him and his wife Renee Young, that used to be a part of WWE as well, can get over this, and hopefully he could come back and be the AEW champion. So yeah, I heard about that news as well.
So that's it for ASAP in the morning. Hey, y'all go ahead and shout out where they could find y'all, where they could listen to y'all podcast in this evening.
Well, tonight at 6:00 Eastern Standard Time, we will be having a Fadeaway NBA podcast episode 5 with me, Coach Dante, and Key in the building. That will be on the Spotlight Sports Network. And then I might do Sixers and Bulls live play-by-play and reactions. I might do live commentary for that. So that's basically what it is on the Spotlight Sports Network. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at SL Sports Network.
Elena?
You can find me, my podcast From the Ground Up. I am on Spotify, Apple Music, as well as Zippy Stream or Anchor. If you have Anchor, you can definitely find me on that as well. I do post on Facebook as well, so make sure you look out for that. Instagram, also all that stuff. So make sure y'all check that out, and you can always catch me on ASAP. I'm on one show or the other, so make sure y'all be on the lookout for that.
Coach Dante?
I mean, y'all can find me pretty much with Coach Spotlight, Coach Dante, YouTube, Coach Dante 31 on Instagram, Coach Dante 31 on Twitter. Y'all can also find me at the Spotlight Sports Network. You know, I'll be live gameplays, college football, you know, fadeaway podcast, 7,200 seconds. I'm everywhere, so you know, y'all can find me on those.
Yeah, we flop it back.
Yeah, Spotlight, you better add me to the NBA segment and stop playing.
I mean, listen, I mean, you 3 hours behind, so you will be ready at 3:00 your time, 6:00 our time.
Listen, I'll be ready when you say I need to be ready. You see, I stayed up on that bitch.
She asked for it. She asked for it. Give it to her. She asked for it. So yeah,
man, you know.
That's it. ASAP Sports, ASAP All Plays, all Sports, All Plays Network. We got, like I said, we can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. But ASAP in the morning, 9:00. Be here, same time, same channel. That's all. We out. Spotlight, take us out, bro.
Darn, what happened to all the videos? Oh, there we go.
Whole sports, all plays. Whole sports, all plays. Whole sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. Great high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.